Whitney Cummings on today, Dana. Whitney, she's one of my friends that when I'm on Instagram, I used to see her podcast on there right when we were starting. I was like, oh, she has one, and Theo and Tim Dillon. All of people I know and hang out with a little bit. So Whitney, it was about time. You know, Fly on the Wall has got a little leaning toward SNL, but we also work in just funny comics to get a good funny hour out of it.
She loved SNL. She's
and they all love SNL, and they're all influenced by SNL.
The connection.
That's our big tie-in.
She comes in with a lot of energy and really dropping some funny ad-libs in this. I wanted you to call her, or I'd call her and say, I don't know if those are planned bits, but you can make a special out of some of those things. Yeah,
some of these things are...
She has some very, very funny riffs and lots of energy.
Yeah, good on her feet. A lot of good road stories. She was the first... when I met her, she was show running 2 shows. She had Whitney, the show, and she also had 2 Broke Girls she created. And that was just right when she got here when she was 29, I think. So she's been working hard since. So I see her a lot at the Improv and the Comedy Store. And she just had a baby, and we're all trying to figure out who's the dad.
That's the reality show. And the host is, the initials are DS.
Yeah, welcome to Who the Baby Daddy? So anyway, Dana does a timeout.
No, I was doing a scissor for Greg.
Yeah. Okay, we can cut that. Anyway, we have...
it's bad enough we made fun of Biden. We don't need this on us.
Yeah, we don't need this shit.
The mics will be turned off next. No, anyway, she was great. Really, really fun, high energy interview.
Here is the lovely and hilarious Whitney Cummings.
I wasn't the star of the Zoom COVID shows like you were, Spade.
You fucking, how dare you right off the bat.
You played elevators. Didn't you play an elevator once? You did just like a 1-minute set.
He headlined a fountain at the Grove.
I thought we weren't going to do this, Whitney.
I thought, dude, he killed at the American Girl Place. God damn it, I said it.
You fucked it up. Thank you. Thank you.
No.
God, that's all I wanted, all I wished for.
Can you say it again? Just articulate it.
He killed at the American Girl doll place. I don't even know what it's called.
Close enough. I did pretty good when I did the balcony of Cheesecake Patio.
Dude, I could not follow you at Build-A-Bear. You murdered.
Oh, that was pretty smooth. Okay.
Thanks. I'm warming up.
You know where I never do well? Zara. Changing room.
At Zara. By the way, are you one of those people? Do you shop at Zara?
I walk by, yeah.
You know, like, I love the new brag that people do that they have the least expensive clothes. It used to be like, it's Gucci. If someone's like, I like your shirt, you'd be like, Gucci or whatever.
Yeah.
But now it's like Zara. Like, I only paid $10 for it. Like 19 children made it.
Yeah. More kids made it. It costs way less.
That's not even a tie-dye. That's a child's tear. Like, they're bragging of how cheap their clothes are now.
Uh-huh. Yeah, well, the whole economy has made America turn into Erewhon.
Erewhon. You know,
Erewhon.
I'm jumping in. I don't even know if we're recording. Are we?
We're
Does
almost over,
care?
Yeah.
Oh.
We are, and there's no structure and no really good idea.
I've listened to the show. I agree.
Boom.
One of my favorite... No, I love the show.
It's unbelievable.
No, there's a lot of them. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say there's a lot of shows out there. 3 million.
By the way, I'm going to say something that's going to get me in trouble. I'm going to say something that's going to get me uncast from the sequel to the Pop-Tart movie. Okay. Your interview with Seinfeld was, I think, maybe the best of anyone that's ever interviewed him. Maybe the only good one.
Whoa, that won't get you in trouble with us.
He was so funny.
He loves, as you know, the process of stand-up. I think he could have done another 2 hours about the idiosyncratic aspect of the art of or science of stand-up, right?
He was he just kept saying to you guys, like, fascinating. I loved it.
He liked it. And he's also not afraid to tell me when I have a horribly dumb question. But I like that because that means that when he's positive, it's real. But
that's what I think, he was trying to figure out. I loved when he said, do you guys listen to podcasts? Why? Spade, I heard you laugh.
I said, no, why would I would never do that?
But I think, no, these things are a mess. But I liked it because it felt like there's so few people he can be gruff with. Like, I think that when you're a comic, you're like a heavyweight and everyone else is a lightweight, not in a negative way. You're better if you're not someone whose default is to play rough. But the fact that he really felt like he could like play rough with you and like play, and it felt like he was just, it's rare that I see him have that much fun.
The fascinating nexus between him and Leno, who Leno probably had maybe the best quote in the history of stand-up, defining it for open micers. Write joke, tell joke, get check. And
that really boiled it down.
And Jerry is a disciple, I don't know religiously, but he's into Stoicism, which is this Roman emperor thing that you do not create problems you don't have, and problems you can't solve, you ignore. So whenever Jerry's bluntness is a push against that. Like, well, what if I don't have new material? No, write more jokes. It's like, and it's that's where it's coming from. And once I understood that, I thought I wasn't on my heels. Like, what's all this aggression coming from? He just can't stand negativity.
Well, he also says he doesn't suffer fools.
Okay.
Like, if you're
I want to
not
hear what
funny,
Whitney says.
No, I'll get to her.
Which, by the way, Spade, I was about to give Spade a compliment just really quick. I love listening to both of you together. I get why this show's a hit. One of my favorite things Spade has ever done is when you were on Howard Stern. This must have been like 12 years ago. I love it when you drop a reference that is so esoteric. Truly, no one gets it. I think I'm the only one. You sat down on Howard Stern's couch and you went, "Oh, what is this? The Gallery?" I mean, it's like there's one The Gallery. It hasn't been open in like 20 years.
It's out in Alhambra.
It was just like, I love that you're like, one's for you and that one was for me.
Thank you. Yes, it was weird furniture.
It is a funny moment when you go on Howard Stern and they put you in and you sit there and then they put the thing on you and the mic is there. It's like you're getting a little kid's hat on or something. It's just a funny moment. Here you go. And it's right there.
It's also 4 a.m. Like the Lunesta hasn't even worn off. I still have NyQuil PM pulsing through my veins. I'm like, this is going to go real Roseanne real fast. Every time I walk out of Howard Stern, I'm like, that went well. Then someone gives me my phone. It's like 47 missed calls, like from my publicist being like, why did you sit on a vibrator saddle?
Oh yeah, why did you sit on the
that's the old Howard though. Now it's long form interviews, right? But yeah,
that's true. But to get back to the Stoicism thing, Dana, are you into Stoicism?
Well, I think it's a good thing if you can do it, not worry about things you can't control.
And these were the Greeks like 1,000 years ago, right?
A Roman emperor, Marcello, wrote a book called Meditations, which had a lot of it was a diary to himself, but it was discussing philosophy of life and nature and everything. And part of it, the core thing is, don't make problems where they don't exist. You go to a therapist about that, being neurotic. And if it is a problem you can't solve, don't worry about it. If you can not worry, if you can go through life at peace and not worrying about things you can't control, that's a good thing. But that's the limit of my knowledge, Whitney. Go ahead.
I just, as a general rule, I tend to not take advice from 1,000-year-ago Romans.
Yeah.
As a general rule, I try to not
2,000 years.
Whatever. I try to not take advice.
That guy was a middle.
From men that just had sex with kids. Like, I don't know. It's this new thing where everyone's like, you know what the Romans said? I'm like, I feel like their judgment was a little off. I don't know.
Probably.
They lived to be 24.
They lived in like castles and wore dresses and sandals. Like, how hard was their life? Like, I just don't know if 2,000 years ago wisdom applies to like, are we addicted to social media?
Right. What did he say about that?
What would Jerry say?
No, what did they get? Roman guy.
Oh, the Roman guy.
I like that Jerry's not self-indulgent. Like, he's like, it's not my job to care.
Right.
It's like,
he says, don't, sorry to interrupt you. I'll keep doing it. But he says about stand-up, because I said, we're doing a special. And then I hate throwing everything away. I don't even want to throw everything away. I love it so much. He's like, Don't throw it away. You don't have enough good stuff. Like everyone thinks they have a great new hour. He goes, you don't. Your first hour is great, and then it just gets watered down, and they keep churning them out. It is hard to do it because you want to percolate with that stuff and let it marinate for years before you go, this one is fucking tight. And then you go do it and they go, okay, throw it in the garbage.
I have a question for you two. Has doing the podcast changed the way you perform stand up? Because sometimes I feel like this pressure to be more conversational because you know what I mean? And it like, will I come off corny if I come out with jokes for a bunch of people that have heard me having like more casual conversations? Does it ever affect you?
Oh, I see.
I would think that it did affect me in a way. If I'm in a small room, I don't know about if it's a big casino or something, all the noise, but I would even call it podcast stand-up. In other words, sometimes I wrote a bit about the world's first sociopath. To say it's like a little story. I say, this bit has never worked. I'm going to do it. I'm going to go through it again and tell you the parts you hated. And they love that. And it's kind of podcasty, put it that way.
I love that. Do you find that since you've been podcasting, people are more interactive in the audience? I'm trying to figure out if it's from crowd work clips, if we've trained them. I don't mind hecklers.
Did you see the giant, sorry to interrupt, but I like to do it. The huge article in the New York Times or Wall Street Journal about the crowd work becoming the thing, even with comedians who could write an hour. What's better than me hatching a bit with crowd work? So when we came along, that was considered hacky to lean on it, to be a crowd work guy. Easiest thing in the world. Where are you from? Why is your wife a whore? Boom, So it is there's a movement now. I mean, you're aware of that, right? With younger stand-ups.
Yeah. I did not read the New York Times article about it. I don't pay for my news. Dude, I am very up to date with the news as long as it's free. Like I've realized about myself,
TikTok.
The news can literally be like, are we going to war with Russia? I'm like, oh my, are we? And it's like $2.
Yeah.
$2 to hear that.
For
I always tell people
of the New York Times, no thanks.
Whitney, what reason I do it is because I always tell anyone who has an opinion about anything, immediately read the opposite. Immediately read the opposite. Don't just if you're worried about climate change, go read the Wall Street Journal or go on Fox News. If you're not, then go. So I like the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times are Coke and Pepsi of left and right. And it's $100 a year for a thing. And I just peruse their editorials. This is it, because I want to know what they think.
New York Times is just a gay blog at this point, right? Isn't it just like a pride parade pamphlet? I'm not really clear on what it even is. I mean, dude, the New York Times is like, I stopped following them on Twitter because they'll juxtapose the most horrendous news with like new twist on avocado toast. And then the next tweet will be like 700 children blown up in Gaza. I'm like, Jesus, guys. Like,
I know.
It's a little hard.
Well, do you ever find yourself reading comments after an editorial? And that's where you get a sense of the zeitgeist of the newspaper. But if you read comments in the New York Times about the Trump and Biden, it'll be like, Trump is more crazy. He can't put two words together and he falls down. That's almost 300 comments saying, no, that's the guy. And then you go on Fox News and it's like, Biden can't. Da, 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 da. So it's very interesting. You can get a quick hit on the American culture.
I'm so much deeper that wherever my algorithm is Biden's a lizard. And oh no.
Why you give a thumb?
For those
Whitney just got a virtual thumbs up.
Oh, that mean you program it to thumbs up your own jokes?
For those of you listening, you can't see this, but on my Zoom, I'm basically, we all have to be Korean teenagers now, where when I make a gesture, this one is the most embarrassing. If you give 2 thumbs up, it starts.
Wow.
Now you have fireworks.
Whitney
so
is
great.
Making gestures and then fireworks are coming up. And so for old people, how do we get that on our
I don't know. The reason I was late to the call because I just re-downloaded Zoom. I don't go on Zoom. There was did you not read? There was it was released at the Zoom terms of agreement, which by the way, we never read, which is so funny that we never read any of these.
Anything.
It says you're donating to Russia.
Totally. And it was Zoom. They were using our Zoom calls to train robots. which I think would be very funny if the robots were a remix of comedians doing podcasts. At least we don't have to worry about them taking over. So
all the robots are doing crowd work now.
Also with Zoom calls and stuff, don't you feel like people are abusing this a little bit? I'll get on a Zoom and I'm like, you guys, this was a text at most.
This was a fucking one sentence text.
This was barely an email. Like, what are we doing here?
Would you like us to manage your cookies? That comes up a lot. Would you like us to?
Cookies are your past searches, right?
I think it's how they harvest us and sell us to robots.
I think it's vagina.
Sick.
Cookies allows them.
Can we get your cookies?
So I have absolutely. I'm sorry to cut you off. I feel like I'm just not answering your questions and being a good
They're not
guest.
real.
I have.
You're our favorite guest so far. No pressure.
I was actually going to ask you that.
Well, you're bringing a lot of funniness and energy. It was pretty nice.
Dana decided to eat lunch during the podcast.
I know. Are you choking on a Ludens? What's happened?
He's got a Luna bar.
Are you just little tangerines?
Cuties?
Do you have a pay partnership with Cuties?
No, it's not an ice cream. A Cutie's like a little fake ice cream.
I mean, this is the level of fame, Dana and Spade. You have a paid partnership with Dole Fruit.
Yeah. Everything about me. This is North Face. Everything about me is paid. These glasses are. Yeah. Everything is. Yeah.
What are you? Pod sponsors Chiquita Banana.
Are you in a second grade classroom or something?
Yeah, Jesus, teacher.
Are you like
I wish you could see this. She's got.
Sorry, I'm not in Anne Frank's basement. And
Spade.
No, I don't know what Spade. Spade, what is that? Is that a sound booth?
That's a skateboard. I had shit behind me, but there was photos of things, and it just all was too distracting. So it was either have too much like you or Bobby Lee, where it's like so many bobbleheads and stuff, or you have something plain, so everyone just looks at me. And that's why I thought I won that round.
You know what? A lot of people don't know a lot about you, Spade. You skateboarded for real?
No. I know how to skateboard. And so I was a skater from 8 years old to until now. But I was pretty good at it in the pools and ramps to kill time because I couldn't play football in high school. So I was a skater.
Do you know I'm dating a pro skateboarder?
Oh, I know your buddy. Yeah, I see him. I saw him at the improv with you the other night.
Yeah.
And but he's better than me. Yes.
He's a professional skateboarder.
And it's very hard.
And
does he? Wow.
He forced me to watch Joe Dirt, which I had never seen before.
Oh, well, I don't know if forced is the word you're looking for.
It was, I called Ronan Farrow after. I marched. I put on a pussy hat and marched.
Okay, so you're famous and you're out there and you're Whitney. So how do you meet a guy like that? Were you at a skate park or I'm just curious?
Yeah.
I was on Instagram. He DM'd me on Instagram, slid into the DM.
Yeah.
And I responded. Yep. And
do you exchange pictures?
There's literally no other way to meet people.
He knows how you look because there's all my YouTube videos and specials. So did you want a picture of him?
Yeah, and then I looked at his, and I don't really know the skateboarding world, but what I will say is that skateboarding, the trajectory and the stand-up trajectory are very similar. Like I literally started doing stand-up in parking lots. You do it on your own with a bunch of weirdo. It's like skating's kind of the same. Skating is physical injury. Like stand-up, I guess, is more like emotional injury. I also didn't know about skateboarding. You get paid like nothing unless you're like the guy.
Yeah,
and so it's we actually had a lot in common from that, but I didn't know anything about skateboarding. I do prefer men who have CTE. I don't like men that remember what I said yesterday because I'm such a hypocrite. So I was like, this could work. But I didn't know he was like successful at it. And so I was like, congrats. Like, this is so cool that you're like trying to do this. It's like seeing an older man with braces. You're like, good job. Like, it's so cool. And then I found out he's like pretty good at it,
Well, Tony Hawk was on and he'd go, I broke this 5 times, his shoulder. I broke the clavicle 3 times. It was almost like a badge of honor. How's your guy doing? Yeah, no, he's a disaster. It's the first time I've ever had to be on top. It's a nightmare. No, it's I got a new hour. We're recording this.
He comes home from work. Honey, how was your kickflip?
Of all the athletes, though, I dated a rock climber. That's even worse because rock climbers, they can't get their fingers wet. That's not a joke.
Is it true?
Because they'll die. They'll die. They'll slide off the mountain.
Yeah, I think that's why he was dating an older woman. I don't know, but the point is that dating athletes I've never been a fan of because they're so competitive, like about every little thing. And like you can't be like, oh, take a left here. And he's like, I think it's a right. I'm like, I think it's a left. And he's like, oh, it is a left. But then I'll be like, it should have been a right because technically, if the freeway, like it should, like he can't lose an argument. He can't, like
sounds
the way
like a keeper.
We're both very petty. So we get along great.
Nice.
But he loves Joe Dirt. He made me watch Joe Dirt. I had never seen it before. Is that weird?
You haven't gotten to a compliment yet, but I'll wait.
That's a little weird. It's a classic, I would say, of the 90s.
She's
comedies.
like, it is a movie. I watched it. It was a movie that you were in. What else is there to say? I don't know.
But watching it now for the first time is wild.
It's not really a girl movie. Go ahead.
Because you're seeing David in his.
I was nice in it.
You and I are like real friends. And I was like, if this is such an iconic thing, what if I become a fan of and like ruin our friendship? What if I'm like, hey, can I get a picture? Wouldn't that be weird if I all of a sudden became like a creepy fan of yours? Like,
yeah, we don't want that.
You know what I mean? But are you glad that I love you for you and I'm friends with you?
There's a lot of people that I see that don't know really anything because no one always watches everything like we've talked about. So I did see your shows, Whitney, and I had seen Too Broke. We call it Too Broke. We do.
Okay.
What did you call it?
Are you busy? Are you busy? Too busy to finish it?
Yeah. Do you call it TB?
Did you smile? What was the look on your face when you brought up Two Broke Girls?
Yeah, you just lit up.
That was weird, wasn't it? I had like a very bizarre like Bell's palsy.
Well, what are you like 25 and you make up a show and it does 140 episodes? I mean, I think you're kind of I don't know. You work hard. Looking at your
very
wiki
smart
page.
girl.
Thank you.
You keep going. I don't know. I mean, so you got books. You got. Oh, by the way, it's still called. Your podcast is called Good for You.
Thank you. Yes,
we just wanted to promote that.
I've done it.
I appreciate it. You guys.
Fun.
Well, no, my podcast is doing well, but then people like you decided to start podcasts, and now none of us are doing well. They're like we were doing great.
We got a lot of competition too. We got fucking Ted Danson. You know that dick.
Oh,
has a podcast.
Why? No, I'm not trying to be mean, but why?
He did it with Woody. I think they talk. Do they talk? It's not only about Cheers. It's about Cheers at another bar.
Yeah, I have to make sure that people knew I was joking. He's an incredibly sweet guy.
He's on our show next week. Yeah,
he's coming out.
Anyone,
a lot of people are doing it.
Anyone that can outrun blackface. They're meant to be. They're cemented. The guy can literally do no wrong.
But wait a minute. Do you think Whoopi was who kind of egged him on and probably put the stuff on Ted? Do you think she was secretly kind of smiling to herself? As he approached never leave the podium?
Now? Yeah. Maybe. Do you think she applied it? I mean, that's my main thing with blackface. I'm like, let's talk about the person that applied it up to the waterline. I mean, like,
eye up to the waterline.
Justin Trudeau's blackface, it's on his hand. I mean, that must have taken 7 hours. It was like the X-Men makeup artist must have done it. I mean, that's when it really gets.
I never found it funny, and I never was ever going to have someone put me in blackface because I remember watching Al Jolson as a kid, those 1930s Shirley Temple movies, and it was like, this is not right. And I'm like 10 years old. I just go, I don't like it.
When people ask me, they're always like, so is the Hollywood business, is it a perverted place? I'm like, let's just put it this way. It was built on the back of a 4-year-old toddler named Shirley Temple, who was twerking on grown men at war. She was always like at war, like on a ship with a bunch of sailors. There was no mom, no babysitter in sight, no mom. She was just adopted by a bunch of old men.
No intimacy coordinator.
Judy Garland, who I did a sitcom.
Dude, remember her movie, The Finger Blast Lollipop, or whatever that song was?
If weird movie, we know how to make movies. When Shirley Temple is in a movie at 4, that means she was cast at like 3.5. She was having wardrobe fittings at 3.
She got an agent at 2.
Yeah. Headshots at 1.
She had a nose job in utero. Anyway, I
cold reading class.
Okay, nose job in utero.
I like that.
Mic drop. We're done. That's it. Okay, we can move on now. Whitney 15, Dana and David 3.
I never answered about the crowd work thing. So look, I think it's cool that, you know, we're moving a little bit like on social media more towards things that are easier to make. I just look at it as that opportunity to go, okay, we can do something harder than that. Crowd work is a thing that you are supposed to just get as a, you know, fun surprise at a live show. But like to blow all of your written stand up on clips, that was hard for us too, you know? So it's like, if we can just go out and put crowd work on here and not blow the material we would put in a special, maybe this is a good way to feed the beast of social media.
Started trouble.
Yes. You have to have content. If you're really in this business, you have to have something in the slipstream almost daily, every other day. I met many grumpy old men when I was coming up. You know, it ain't like it used to be. So I promised myself I wouldn't be someone going, well, that's not real comedy. So it's the way it is now in less than a minute, that this new art form called clips. And I find it really kind of fun. And we have people clip it together and they put little cartoons on it. So it's like, it's actually a cool new art form and people love it.
And it's kind of like, you know, I think it's cool to let people know, like, yes, we write our jokes, but also look how funny we are extemporaneously. And if you do come to a show, you'll get a chance to talk to us. Like, you know, although the funny side effect to me is that like everyone in the first like 3 rows is dressed now like they're going to get in a clip. And it's like the first 3 rows, the bitches just have like hats and like cowboy. Everyone's just like ready to be on camera. Like,
like also make fun of me. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And they're kind of just like, do you want to make fun of my tits? And I'm just like, do I have
to? You want to squeeze it?
Yeah. So I feel like people are kind of like ready to be on camera at all times, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Which is fine too. Why not?
Your podcast has clips that are funny. And so you're funny on those. And then, which we do those podcast ones too. And then you are doing clips from your stand-up. So when people come see you do stand-up, it's funny because in their mind, you better be funny on your podcast. You better be funny in crowd work. Because I had someone go, I thought your show was great, but I did see a bit you did on Ellen a couple years ago. I'm like, how much? What is it? Can I not? I have to do 15 minutes on Ellen every 3 weeks. It's like,
also,
I have to have some repeat business.
Which is so annoying because like, musicians, it's like play the hits,
yeah,
you know? And we're just like, Jesus, you know, that is really frustrating. That is my worst nightmare, that I remix something.
It's the exact opposite. You're like Journey, they fucking did Don't Stop Believing. I almost walked out.
I had a guy tell me once, maybe you guys have had this after a show years ago, he goes, no matter how many times I hear those jokes, they're still funny to me. You know, and you're like, I need some new material.
Oh, no, I'm obsessed with the backhanded compliments you get when you walk off stage. Like that people genuinely think they're saying something nice. Like when you get off stage and someone's like, you know, you're too smart for them. Yeah. You're just too smart for them. They're just right over their
crowd.
They'd fuck this crowd. I'm like, I thought I did well.
Yeah.
It's like when I come off stage and someone's like, you are such a good writer. Like, what?
Funny.
Yeah, like
what?
Quitting stand-up and going back to just writing.
Or like, I get a lot of like, you know what I love about you? You don't even care what you wear. Like, you don't even care.
You don't care how you look.
You're just so authentic. Like, you don't care what you look. I'm like, I tried very hard for this.
Do you still want to do meet and greets, or who are these people? Are they crew members off to the side?
My manager. Do you guys do meet and greets when you tour?
I haven't in a while.
If they wanted, I'm playing a casino this weekend.
8 shows.
Assume the tribal elders will come in with blue eyes and blonde hair and a little feather and go.
I love playing casinos, dude, because you know that on native land, there's no police.
There's no police. You're not really the show. It's half papered. The casino doesn't want you to go too long. Get them at the table. So, you know.
Oh, last time I did a casino, I don't remember where it was. I don't want to, get in trouble with the native community by making up a silly name, but we already did that with the Sandler movie, Ridiculous Six, Spade. And so I am at this casino. There's a guy in the lobby. When I tell you bleeding from the head, just bleeding from the head, insert scalped joke here. And I was like, oh, we need to call the police there. I mean, David Spade is literally yawning, you guys, just FYI for the people listening.
No, I know where this is going.
I just gave him mono with my story. And I was like, we have to get the police. And the police are appointed by the elders. It's like they're friends that need a job.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. That's it.
It's their entourage.
I like casinos. There's something fun about being in a venue where everyone else is making worse decisions than you. You know what I mean? Like it's nice. Like, okay.
It's
these are like memes. I need a minute to process that.
I love casinos. I always have my tour, and then there's always casinos peppered in. They just throw you in. You're like, it's a little out of your way, but it's worth it. You go out there, and they're usually pretty good. The last
they can be really good unless it's Vegas in July and it's 121 outside, and they've been by the pool all day, and either they're drunk or they're literally almost asleep. That's kind of rough.
I love the science of casinos. One of my favorite things. To satisfy my, I like to think, pretty high functioning autism is the carpets in casinos and in the casino hotels. You know, they're specifically designed to disguise like blood and shit and puke. So the patterns are always just like red splatters. Like, look at it next time. It's kind of fascinating.
Did not know that. I do like the no clocks and it's all dark. And there's something about people at a slot machine with a free drink. That seems like one of the most decadent things you can do. And it's 10 a.m. and they're just going to have free drinks all day and pull slots.
It's so wild. And then the brand, there's like a Sex in the City slot machine. And you're just kind of like, I love that someone at HBO was like, you know what we need this season? Like, who is putting all these together? Like, it's a fascinating business model to me. And I also find it fascinating because there's always so much more security at casinos. Like, do you ever notice, like, I feel like I go to casinos, I feel like more glamorous for some reason. I don't know why. Like, when you're just doing venues, they're like, hey, what's up? Like, they don't, sound check. Like, they don't. Whereas, like, because I mean, maybe it's because the people that are working at those venues want to be comics, or, Ludacris was there the night before and you're just some, idiot from Premium Blend or whatever. But like, I noticed this recently. Do you guys notice this, that like, when you're known or famous or whatever, that everyone always thinks you're going to fall? Like, when I walk to the stage, the number of people who hover around me to make sure I don't fall, I'm like,
yeah.
Are you in heels? What do you wear?
Just sneakers. Like, I just mean like security and stuff. Like, it's just funny when you finally get like successful or something, and you're like, oh, no one respects me. Like, I thought it would make people think I was competent. And everyone's like, can I help you down the stairs? And you're like, no, I think I got it. Like, what is?
It's going to be about a 6-foot walk. You got it. You're going to go straight out, and then the stage ends at some point. So don't walk off the end.
Is there stuff? Do I come off dumb? Like, do I come off like I get lost a lot? Like,
I think it's more fake reasons to talk to you and grab you because you're cute.
Oh, I'm too stupid.
No, you're cute, and they just want to talk. A reason to talk to you.
But when they like hover around, like like Matt Rife, I'm like, he's 25 years old. He's got it. Like 80-year-old.
He just did the pommel
guard.
Horse backstage. He's fine.
but and then what are you guys going to tour together?
No plans.
No plans.
You hate money.
Well, no, usually
that's what our manager says.
When you do the math,
you guys hate money.
Group shows would be great for you. 5 of you go out together. And then you do the math of the door, and I don't know how much it's value added. I probably just ski in the wake of Spade's crowd.
Can we do it? We Love Money tour, us 3. We'll go in the car from Joe Dirt. I just found out it was for sale.
It was bought already.
Spade didn't buy it. The car from Joe Dirt was for sale, and Spade did not buy it. What is money for?
It was $330,000.
You make
like
that
she said. Why didn't you buy it?
It's your bar tab.
You make that with one Crunchy Leaf post.
No, I actually talked to the guy about buying it beforehand, and then I thought I would have it here, but not many people could see it because I don't have like a used car lot. You can't, I just have a garage, and it's just, I love that car. I fucking love it. And the guy that bought it is cool. He has a huge Joe Dirt tattoo on his chest, and he loves the movie. And
it's fascinating, the people that have that stuff. I remember when we did Roseanne, the reboot, I did the first season back, and there was a guy that collected, stuff from TV shows, and he had the Roseanne couch. The fact that they sold it is wild, right? Should have been the Smithsonian or something. And we asked if we could just use it, like we'll rent it, whatever. And he said no.
Oh, right. To have Roseanne use it again, which makes it worth more again.
Yeah. He just said no, like no amount of money will I will not give this to you guys to shoot for the reboot of the show. It was just
Jesus.
I know, like my strange addiction shit. Like I buy stuff from TV shows and don't let anyone touch it. I don't know.
Do you steal wardrobe and stuff like that? Do
Yeah, that's the real question.
Because we had John Corbett on Sex and the City and Big Greek Wedding. Anyway, so at the end of a shoot, he just goes to the wardrobe place and just doesn't talk to anyone or ask anyone. And he just takes it all, and he has it in boxes up in Northern California. He has like hundreds of underwear and socks and shoes. And he took the Moose from Northern Exposure sitcom. It was a big hit. He just took it. He doesn't ask. He just harvests sets and things.
Am I allowed to gossip?
What's that? Yeah, go ahead.
I heard that Mariah Carey on some movie she did a cameo in some Will Ferrell movie, House Money, maybe it was called, and they gave her this like $300,000 necklace to wear, and she just like wore it home. I mean, like just psycho. Like
I like that.
I never do that because I don't want someone to get fired or get in trouble. But also, they need to keep it in case you have to do reshoots. They would need it for continuity. As a producer and writer,
yeah, I know that's the other side of it.
Yeah, because in my brain,
now it's turned into everyone sees what's happening in LA at Walgreens. Everyone just steals everything at Macy's. So they just go into wardrobe and go, you can't do anything. And they just take all their wardrobe and leave. And they go, don't chase them. Don't chase John Corbett.
You must have such iconic stuff that you just think is like trash in a storage unit, but is like worth $1 billion on eBay.
I do have the church lady dress and glasses and a wig.
That was a wig?
It's in one of my homes. Anyway, in a closet.
Can't remember which one.
It's in West Hollywood right now. Because I technically, when I got on Saturday Night Live, the rules changed afterwards because I came in with the character that I own it. So I just have that made for, when I really, really am down and out, I'll do corporate gigs as the church lady, full regalia. Coming out, firing hard.
Do you have it like in plastic or something? Like
it's the dress is hung up. It looks fine, and
Can we do like an Instagram? The only way that anyone will socialize with their own friends these days is to monetize it somehow. So can I come to your house? We'll shoot it. Don't worry. And we can do like closet organizing of all your like iconic things that you have.
Well, that's my biggest.
I don't think there's that much stuff. I only have Dickie Roberts wardrobes, the shorts from Grown Ups, the shirt from Grown Ups, bench warmers stuff. And
are you reading that off a laptop?
And I'm thinking the wig from Joe Dirt.
Is that on your post-it note? That's like,
why did I look to the side? That's
it looked like you were reading it off. Like it
looked like an assistant off the side was holding outfits to show you.
I think in the old days, like Debbie Reynolds or Ann Miller or those Donald O'Connor musicals, they would have so much stuff,
They sell it now and it's big biz. They go back and just get all the stuff from those prop houses and they sell it all, and it makes a killing.
I like those Architectural Digest house tours of those like super out of touch rich people being like, yeah, and we just picked this up in France and have you seen the Architectural Digest tours?
Seen a lot of shows like that. Yeah.
It'd be fun to do some in your house.
These are the heads from Easter Island.
That one. And then what is the other? Oh, I did Punk'd recently. And not Punk'd. Sorry. I did Punk'd. That was my first job. I'm sorry. I know.
Punks.
I did, what is it? Cribs, MTV Cribs.
Okay.
And I watched, Martha Stewart. You've got to watch it. It's amazing because she so clearly does not want them in her house, and she cannot pretend to be chill in the slightest. And they're at her like 7th home in Nantucket or something, and they just left it all in. But she's like, okay, and so this is what I got when I went into Italy. Excuse me, sir, can you back up off the wall, please? Yeah, can you just back up? Like
put the charcuterie board down.
And they left it all in. Fantastic.
It's so funny. Like you need to take your shoes off. You need to take your shoes off. And this vase I actually got when I was in Tuscany, and I'm gonna need you to put the footies on. Put the footies on, please. Thanks. Like and they just left it all in. It's incredible.
Do you want us to ask you questions?
Oh, sure.
I was kind of curious about whether, there's things you've been asked a lot. Okay, you could go like, I grew up with Joan Rivers, Phyllis Diller, Toady Fields, and then you come out and you were a model at a department store. So was that helpful in the beginning? Like, you should, or were your looks kind of problematic or an asset in your mind?
That's so nice. I mean, model in a department store is not, we're not Naomi Campbell over here. This was like King of Prussia Mall in Philadelphia. Yeah.
But Tony Fields,
you worked at Lady Foot Locker putting shoes
had
on.
one leg. She had diabetes. She came out with one leg, and she was really. There were some very funny looking comedians, and when I was growing up,
I used to model the masks in Spencer's Gifts. I was an informal model, it was called. So the super annoying people that like offer you perfume when you walk into a department store, like, hey, want a migraine? I can help you with that. Or, you're just like walking around in a wedding dress. Like I was like 14 years old, walking around in a wedding dress. Like I did maternity at 15 years old. They give you like a pillow that's strapped and I'm just like walking around. And asking people like, hey, do you want to go see some wedding dresses on the 3rd floor? And you would just all to women that were going through a divorce. Like no one goes to a fancy department store who has a happy marriage. So I'm just like, hey, want to go see a wedding dress? Like as your marriage falls apart. And it was actually, I was doing it for money. And it actually, I look back now and I'm like, it was before I had boobs. Hooters didn't take me. And I realized like so much of the ability to just talk to strangers came from that, because I had to walk up to strangers that wanted nothing to do with me, that quite frankly wanted me to be invisible and were like trying to get away from me. And I was like, hey, want to go? And I'd have to charm them and figure out a way to get them to listen to me so that I didn't get fired. But I think that did actually come in really handy. Also just the ability to be alone a lot. I mean, I think something that a lot of people maybe don't know, because, we only post the greatest hits on our Instagram of how fun our life is. But being a comic, you're just like alone a lot. We're in hotels alone. We're, even when we're with a lot of people, we feel alone.
I spent 36 hours in a hotel in Houston a couple of weeks ago because it was so crazy, rainy, stormy outside. I actually just walked around the hallway, but you go a little crazy just in a hotel room for a day and a half.
Plus, everyone knows you. So the second you go out, people go, hey. But I do a lot of
for that. Sorry, Spade.
No, I guess you're the guest.
No, my podcast doesn't do as well as yours. Go ahead.
Okay.
We'll check the numbers. You're probably you're probably closer than you think.
You've done 5,000 of them. It's hard to keep it balls in the air for 1 million times. You've ultimately run out of. I would think at a certain point.
You guys did something really genius, though. You guys were like, we're only going to interview SNL people, and then we'll just do comedians. Like, I think for me, I just didn't believe that a woman talking for 2 hours was a viable business. It just didn't seem like that was something anyone wanted to hear. And so I think I always had like just all kinds of different guests to see what worked, and if we live here in Hollywood, why not get Hollywood guests? So it's like Hillary Duff and Miranda Cosgrove, like those numbers did super big, but then some comics that are huge didn't do so well. But it's just like hard to tell who's going to do well.
It depends who your crowd is. Yeah. We have people that surprisingly do well and surprisingly don't. And but I also like the randomness of yours, because you can just see someone that's interesting, like a Terminex guy, and go, I bet I could talk to this guy because something interesting about this. And then you can have a big star, so you can mix it all up and then just cover anything that interests you. We had a UFO guy on our other one. We have one on video called Superfly. We had a UFO guy on, and then we had this girl that was in that Nixium cult. And
yeah, she's my friend. Sarah's my friend. I was in the second season of that show.
Oh, were you in a basement?
I got obsessed.
Was Keith your guy? Is he a skateboarder?
Do you have a? Are you branded? Are you branded? KR?
No, I would love to be in a cult, though. I just need someone to organize my life. I did try to get into Scientology when I first moved here, and they rejected me.
Right.
Really?
They reject people?
Swear to God. Okay.
Did they give you a reason?
I think
Too chatty?
That's it. They're like, this bitch cannot keep a secret. Like, it's so obvious that I'm a squeaky wheel, if nothing else. I have such snitch energy. A girlfriend of mine, Jennifer Goodwin, was my first friend in LA. She had just done a movie called Mona Lisa Smile, long time ago, with Julia Roberts. And remember when, if someone got the number 2 or 3 lead in a movie, they were going to be a star. There was this machine. They got the publicist and they got it was just, so Scientology would figure out who like the next person was going to be to like get it on the ground floor. Right.
Ooh.
So a famous Scientologist invited her to brunch, and it was at like a house. It was just an address. It wasn't like Shakey's Diner or whatever, you know? And we pull up, I go with her, and it is a castle. I think people don't understand that hate on Scientology. It's in a castle. And when you grow up poor and you see a fucking castle, you're like, I need to live there. I don't care. You take my plasma. I don't care. Fine. And so I was like, yes, I'd like to live in this castle for free. Like, I'm not allowed to take antidepressants. I don't have healthcare. Fine. And so we went in, there was this like amazing brunch. And also the reason Scientology is so freaking enticing is the beginning of it isn't that weird. It's like how to take control of your life and like write thank you notes and like, you know, it's all like beginner AA stuff. I'm in a 12-step program now. So it's a lot of like, it works if you work it, like, don't, you know, make a permanent decision based on temporary feelings. It's stuff that like, I'm sure the Stoics said this all much better. But
we'll ask
Jerry.
But you know, but that's the serenity prayer is basically Stoics. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. Right, you know, and the wisdom to change the things that I can't. So I'm in, dude. I'm like, I get an apartment, I get a job. The brunch had chocolate pudding. Like the guy from Lost was there. The Jorge. I'm like, if this guy can get on a TV show, like I'm in. And they just were not interested. And I tried to go back and they were like, we're good, basically.
A cute young writer actress from a great college. I can't believe it. What are they looking for?
They didn't want my after scale money from MTV. They wanted, you know, studio movie money.
You tell them you might do Cribs soon?
What's that?
You said I can get us on Cribs. I know a guy over there.
Yeah, so I did not get in. I'm glad that I didn't get in. I have some weird obsession with it. I had to stop smoking weed like a year and a half ago because I would get the first thing I would do when I smoked weed was Google the Scientology ships or try to figure out where they were. And I scheduled a call. There's
ships. Yeah, they have their navy basically. Yeah.
What?
They're in international waters. The sea where there's no rules. It's crazier than the casinos with no police officers. They're out there and they operate under maritime law, international waters. There's no drinking age. There's no age of consent. None of it. I scheduled a Zoom call with a maritime lawyer to talk about it.
How are their carpets? What do they look like?
Wow. Did you, when you took DMT, did you see sentient entities?
Sentienties?
What's DMT? I don't know if I've taken that one. Dave, did you put that in my drink one night?
Yeah.
At Roku?
I have some in the car. At Roku.
Well, what was your experience with psychedelics, and do you do them anymore? This is from Toledo, Ohio, a fan. Can you ask one?
Okay. I haven't done DMT. I am good friends with Joe Rogan, and everyone assumes that I like, you know, go to Peru every weekend and like puke up like ayahuasca. I've done ayahuasca once after my dad died. The first night I was like such a comedian about it. I was like, this is bullshit. It's all power of suggestion. It was like some shirtless guy like dancing in front of me. It was like the worst Chippendales performance I've ever
was
witnessed.
There?
Yeah. It was just Bobby Lee dancing
Bobby
with like
laying
flowers.
his wiener out.
It was a nightmare. And so the first one, not a fan. And then I puked, which was like I did this in my entire high school. I don't need to do bulimia again in my 30s. Like, so I finally want to keep food down, guys. This is not my brand at the moment. And the next night I actually had like just some clear thoughts. I didn't see gremlins or angels or any of that, or Grateful Dead bears or any of that shit. I kind of, I like to call it just updated my software on myself a little bit, which was just kind of like, I didn't understand why when I got a TV show and sitcom or whatever it is, I didn't understand why people didn't like me or were mad at me. Cause in my mind, it was like, you know, this was at this time. I mean, you had a show, obviously, Spade, you know, Dana, you were on a show at the time, but all my friends that were comics were like kind of mad at me or stuff. It was just a bizarre time. And in my head, I was like, no, this is great. We're all going to get sitcoms. And, you know, the ships rise with everybody rises together. I don't know what the saying is. I'm sure it's a Stoic fortune cookie saying, but I felt like all these people that I was friends with and family with were like mad at me or something. And then I realized like, oh, I have such a scarcity complex too. We all do, that if that was happening to someone else, I'm sure that I would be a little petulant and jealous. And I was just able to stop being mad at people and just accept like,
it's the way it is.
How I'm perceived sometimes, which by the way, Spade gave me some of the best piece of advice between seasons of a sitcom when both of us were waiting to hear about the fate of our sitcoms. You called me, remember? And you went, so just FYI, bad news travels slow.
That is true. In this town, everyone wants to give you good news, and you gotta chase down the bad news. No one wants to be associated with it.
And it made me realize, like, look, comics, like the reason I love comics so much is because we're able to criticize everything together and see the world in the same way, you know. And then when I became the subject of their criticism, it was like, oh shit, the thing that I, you know, my only love sprung from my only hate kind of thing. So I was able to just go like, yeah, this will be over soon, and someone else will, you know, be the next person, and it feels temporary.
That is part of stoicism. That's the other part. Is all your enemies, all your things, everything is going to disappear. Everything really fast. It just keeps moving, moving, moving. So don't sit in it. I never made a joke about you. I never would think to.
Oh, I was like a punchline on SNL a couple times, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you get too famous. You're show running 2 shows. It sort of puts you at the forefront, and then. But too young.
Like when you're like, oh my God, you're like SNL, like this is like the dream, and they're making fun of, like that's not how I wanted to be on SNL, you know, like Tina Fey making fun of me, or that's not how I wanted to be on South Park. Like they made fun of me on South Park and recently on Big Mouth, and I'm like, okay, you know what? Fine, I pay my bills doing comedy, like, you know.
People say it's the highest form of flattery, and then you're like, but it kind of isn't.
Oh no, I had to go on Prozac as a result.
It is hard. It's hard to hear that kind of shit.
But it's like, if I'm going to give it, I have to also be able to take it. And, you know, but I had some good breakthroughs on that, of like, to be able to separate myself from like the self that everyone else perceives. I think when I mean, you guys know more than anyone, like it's public figures. Do you ever have to go like, that's David Spade, that's Dana Carvey, but I can like separate.
Yeah. And that was from the ayahuasca that got you into that frame of mind.
I just like wasn't mad at everyone for wanting what I had. Because I was like, I wanted what other people had too, you know, and there was such a scarcity complex at the time. It was before social media. It was before podcasts, you know. We're all now working together. We're all just like a team at this point. You know, we used to be like, is the executive going to pick me or her? And we had to be in competition. And now it's like, we're all going to work together. So it was just during that like icky time. That helped me. I've never done DMT. I don't think I think that's Molly. I did ketamine microdosing with a doctor, not just like street ketamine. During the pandemic, my hair was blue shortly thereafter. So rave reviews. It helped me with some grief stuff. It helped with instant grief and forgiveness stuff. I did it, you know, for like a couple months on and off microdosing, and it definitely helped a lot with grief because I couldn't really cry before that. I was told don't cry, big girls don't cry. My mom, you know, I'm not a doctor. I don't like when people diagnose people without a medical license, but I was told borderline personality disorder, alcoholic. So she was very histrionic. If you ever needed anything, you know, if I ever was upset, she took it personally, like she was a bad mom. So I had to take on her feelings if I ever had any feelings. So it really helped me like release a lot of old pain.
Wow. And now you're a mom.
Yeah. Can someone get a punchline in there?
No, you did good. You can talk. We can talk normal sometimes.
Oh no, people love this. Yeah, humans out there listening right now. Oh yeah, no, that's just under the heading of very interesting, of someone doing psychedelics a little bit and having. We had Neil Brennan on, who's you know, I mean, it changed his life. His whole special was about it, how it took away his depression by and large and his anxiety between ayahuasca and MDMA. You know,
I guess I didn't realize that pain turns into anger, and I had a lot of just pain. You know, everyone's got their shit. Both my parents had strokes during the time that I had the sitcoms and stuff, which, you know, I think nobody really knew. Who cares? But both my parents had strokes without health insurance. and they were paralyzed basically from the neck down, both of them, and were in beds for like 10 years.
My God.
So I just had to it's fine. I just had to like live in nursing homes and like hospitals and ICUs and stuff. So I was on the road. I'd go from like show to hospital to show to hospital. And I guess I was just like, I didn't realize till after they passed, like how angry I was that, about all that. And I needed to cry instead of like, because when you're on stage, sometimes anger comes out, or what you're writing, or, it comes out when you least expect it. And I think angry comedy, no one really wants to see. And it's also an awful feeling. And I was writing from the angle of that. And ketamine just helped it. Like, I was in therapy. I don't know if it works if you're not with a therapist who's walking you through it all, but I did that plus EMDR, plus I'm in a 12-step program called Al-Anon. Because ultimately, like, acceptance is my hardest thing. I can't accept it. I can't accept that that's the truth. I can't accept that this is happening. And I'm going to give myself cancer being angry about it. And there was just like a surrender that came with it of like, this is how it is. I'm just going to ride the horse in the direction it's going. That's what ketamine did for me. I'm way less elegant than Neil Brennan about all this stuff. So just listen to the Neil Brennan episode for that.
I'm texting Jerry Seinfeld right now.
Yeah, and then listen to the Jerry one.
Can we just talk for? I don't want to go. Go ahead, you talk. Because we met. We had a funny gig together.
Yes, we did. I didn't know if you'd bring this up or not.
Well, I thought it'd be fun because it's just. I'll tell my side real quick, and then I want to hear from your point of view. So there was a really rich guy. I guess he's 95. He's got this gigantic mansion in Las Vegas. And they hired me. Will you come do a half-hour stand-up for the party? His wife was much younger. They're very sweet people. And so I show up, and it's like Scarface or something. There's mermaids in the pool and jugglers, and it's like a Fellini-esque circus. And I'm in a waiting room. Very, again, incredibly nice people.
Did you say in a waiting room?
Well, it was a part of another house.
It was a bedroom.
It was a giant bedroom. We're waiting for Whitney. Okay, Whitney's supposedly she's gonna go on, and then I'm gonna go on. We don't know where she is. And it was like, she's getting here soon. So then you came in, lots of energy, and you can tell your side of it. And then you change very, very quickly. We go out. It's a big pavilion. It's like 150 people. You can't really hear, and you're up there. And I see you're working. I wanted to know what the vibe was. So they said, well, put a mask on. So, sorry. In the meantime, Joe Rogan showed up. Sorry, I missed that part.
We were together. Yeah.
Yeah, you came in first. He was right after you. So Joe Rogan's there. So he's not wearing a mask. No one's wearing a mask. This tail end of the pandemic, whatever. So I go, I want to get up close so I can see how Whitney's doing. I couldn't hear what was going on. They wear this mask. So I'm going up to the crowd they go, so they won't recognize you. You're a surprise. They're right. So I'm going through the crowd with the mask on, and I bump into Joe, and he looks at me and he goes, "Get that thing off your face." And I said, I tried to explain. Well, they told me but anyway, I thought you did great. Because it was such a rough thing that you were bringing people out of the audience on the stage and interviewing them. I thought you did great. It was a rough gig, but nice people. Okay, now from your side, you're flying from Santa Barbara with Joe.
I flew. Okay, so it was Andrew Schultz's wedding, comedian, and I was with Lex Friedman. We're in the podcast space deep right now. So Lex Friedman, who also has a podcast, I brought him as my date, and I was like, okay, I can make this wedding and then fly I can make both.
Vegas. Yeah.
Yes. And then Rogan and his wife were at the wedding, and I was like, we have to leave. I have to run to Vegas to go do this corporate gig. And Joe was like, can I come with you? And I love when people get so successful that like something like that is just like interesting to them. It's like when rich people want to go camping, like, I want to know what it feels like to be poor. And so he's like, let me go see this corporate gig. You know what I mean? And so he comes, he's also just awesome. And like, he just loves stand up and,
oh yeah,
he's
it's fun to have more people go. Yeah.
And he's fascinated by like comedians, like, we do theaters, we do clubs, like, but a lot of our gigs are like, we've never performed in this space before. The, circumstances are wild. There's no sound check for this.
Private party, basically.
Private gigs you're less, on some level, they're paying you well and respect you and they know you're famous and they love you.
Bob Arum, who's this fight promoter, famous. Yeah. He was on a couch right up front, vaping pot the whole time. I was.
Everyone was shit-faced, like, and I just went full into like party clown mode, like the Darwinian, like, all right, you don't want to do it this way. We're gonna do this the easy way or the hard way. And usually at corporate gigs, I think they usually just want to be the star, and
we did fine.
You just flirt with the men and lap dance with the women, and I remember going like, I am such a huge fan of Dana Carvey. The fact that this is what he is seeing me do as a performer, it is so embarrassing.
Well, I felt the same way because Joe was so sweet, big hugs. We're having a love fest, and he's so excited to see me do stand-up.
He was so excited you were there. He was geeking out,
and I'm like, this is about as rough a situation. No one's fault. You explained it brilliantly. You have no chance to do anything. So by the time you went off and Joe was there, I went up, and it was the same kind of, oh my God, something that would get an applause break is, and they're talking, a lot of talking. These young women are talking, So I looked over because I was thinking, and thank God you guys had left.
Oh, hilarious.
When you left. Yeah,
because Lex Friedman
couldn't get out, right?
Joe Rogan has told this story, so I don't feel like I'm outing him. But Lex Friedman, who was one of those like high performer types, all these men that just feel like they need to like work out all day to prepare for like no one's drafting them, but they're in training. Like this new where guys
ready
are
for the big one.
Yeah.
They're in ice buckets, and I don't know what's going on. Like, is there no porn left to watch? I don't understand. I don't know, but all these men that are like we need to live forever, but all they do is work out. Like, I don't know, like 4-hour work week, but you like all you do is work till 2 a.m. But whatever, you have 9 podcasts. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's an Adderall thing or what, but Lex Friedman is like, he's a scientist who has a podcast, super like gets up at 5 a.m. to run and do burpees, and he's always in ketosis or some shit. I don't know. And he had been on a fast. He hadn't eaten for like 2 days and had a bunch of whiskey and was like puking in the koi pond at this billionaire's house.
Oh, he was outside on the grounds puking in the koi pond.
Okay. Remember there were
there was so much stuff out there.
Okay, these big fancy mansions are just like booby traps. I don't know if it's just like how, it's illegal for like billionaires to hunt poor people, but maybe they just put the Ring camera on and put some fountains out that are flush with the patio because everyone was falling into the koi pond.
Excellent.
Like you would just be like walking in the dark and just be like in a koi pond. And so I think he had done that and then was maybe puking. So I was like, we need to get out of here. But let's have the check. Send me the Venmo and then we'll see if it clears.
I was happy that you guys got out of town fast.
Like we had to get back, and then there was no plane to take us back.
I remember that
drive back to Vegas. It was like a whole sort of thing.
You had to get a car to drive back.
I remember you telling me that part.
I kind of love those corporate gigs though, because I feel like all of the maybe negative things that happened to us in our childhood, we can sublimate into something positive. Like I was raised by like truculent, distracted alcoholics. So sometimes when I'm in that situation, I'm like, I know what to do here. Like, this is actually where I shine, trying to get,
stay happy and stay positive. That's the first rule of a party. You're there not to bring them down or blame it on them. And I don't do many parties. The corporate dates are a little different in Vegas. They have real sound and everything. But a private party, it was just sort of a fluke. I ended up there. Oh, and Whitney Cummings is opening. I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. And then Joe was there. It was just one of those Fellini-esque moments.
I had to like hang my head in shame and get out of there. Cause it's like, I'm meeting one of my heroes. And then I'm just like, he's going to watch me just do like crowd work and like twerk on.
I couldn't really, after the mask thing, I got back, I took the mask off. I couldn't really hear what was saying because it was boomeranging. The ceiling of this atrium was like 100 feet tall. So it was all
high ceilings kill things. People don't know. High ceilings are the worst.
But I thought
for comedy.
I thought there was something cool about them picking me and you. I was like, there was
a good mix.
They can have whoever they want, ultimately. But I was like, this is so cool. It made me feel very good about myself. And then I promptly
anyway, I'm sorry
gigs,
that
I was going to say before I let Whitney go, because we've taken over too long, but when I do a corporate gig, you sometimes feel like roughing it because they are paying you. And they try to make it so nice for you. But sometimes if it's a little tough, you go, hey, this is actually, like Whitney, if they don't have your carrot sticks, you go, you know what? I don't care. Let's just go. Let's plow through it.
Oh, can I do this really quick? What's in your rider? Will you read it verbatim?
No fucking chance.
Please.
3 Coca-Colas, Pellegrino. I didn't write it. I mean, I've had people go, we only have 2 towels.
Yeah,
I know. I'm like, what? I know.
2 towels.
Sorry, your ice bath. We couldn't get it on the truck in time, Whitney.
I don't know. Has this gone well? I can't tell.
You did great.
You're one of my favorite guests.
You're fucking hilarious.
Hilarious.
You have 5 jokes in every sentence.
I feel like Spade's already emailing. Like, I feel like Spade is just over here on like doing Facebook updates. Like,
no, I'm paid to do an hour. So at 1 hour 01, I just zonk out.
You should have somebody listen to this and then type it all out just for how you wove things. Some of your word packages. I don't know if you've used them before, but there was a lot of cool stuff in there.
I don't know. I feel like, okay.
Are we reviewing it right now?
I don't know. I feel like we could have lost the skateboarding stuff. Maybe the Joe Dirt stuff didn't I thought that was going to be a little more fun.
A little more potent. No, I thought it was all good and you did a great job. And I guarantee you people will say that. I
love the fact that we used to be judged on our work. Now it's just a personality audition. I'm like, how was my personality for the past hour?
This was a good first date. Everyone will fall for you.
If people just, human people out like we are, see your Netflix special, and you're just a civilian, if I saw someone on Ed Sullivan or Carson, they were so they get to see us as just regular quasi-wounded little puffy clowns with doing the best we can. And it's very interesting just to hear you talk, you know.
Can you imagine? Sorry, I know you have to go. I know you're not getting paid anymore. You can hop off. Can you imagine if podcasting happened? Can you imagine Rodney Dangerfield having a podcast?
Oh yeah.
Can you imagine?
Oh, I tell you, I was an ugly kid. I I'll tell you, when I was born, the doctor slapped my mother. I tell you.
And the guest is like, when do I talk?
Show edge in the bag a little bit. Yeah, they all would have done this. It's a unique, bizarre thing. I think we're very fortunate to have it. You can have it, use it as how you like it. It can be just part of a very vast career.
It's on in the background. People listen, they drive.
They're driving.
Scream at their kids.
And you know what?
When we used to do radio, but when we did radio, we came with bits.
Yeah, you had to be on more.
We were really 6 a.m. and we were doing, this is just, every time I hang up, I'm like, was that so self-indulgent and boring?
No, you're supposed to talk. We talk too much. You got in there.
They like it as if we just were at Koi having dinner.
We really were. This is what we talk about. I last time I saw Whitney, I walked her to her car and we just talked for a while there. And she's very normal, very lovely, and very not always doing jokes. She's just a very lovely person. So I think on these, it does come up a little bit because people like to see it and hear it, but you're a very normal, nice person.
I saw you backstage at the Comedy Store and I wanted to be your best friend within 10 minutes because we were talking about some subject and you were just so completely, oh yeah, totally agree. I can't remember what we were talking about, but yeah, you just are interesting. You're an interesting person. You covered a lot in this time.
Maybe too much.
That's so Howard Stern. I feel like we've said it all. Maybe
we've said it all. There's nothing left to do. There's no stone unturned.
Left to say.
No, we had a million things to talk to you about, but unfortunately, we ran out of time.
I'll throw one out for you that you probably have an opinion about. On Instagram or whatever, the mom is like a celebrity mom. She's like 52 or 53. She's with her daughters about 14, 15. They're dressed alike. The mom looks just as fit. She's filled up whatever she's done. It's like she's like a teenager with her teenager. Anyway.
No.
You see a lot of those. I'm not talking about one person. See a lot of those.
Yeah, that's or good for you. Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not particularly good at branding. Maybe I need to make some matching onesies for me and my son, and I might,
Yeah, there you go.
I'm not really bothered by any of it. This is just comedy fodder. To each his own. What other people's opinion of me is none of my business.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of like my mom drank while I just rolled around on the floor. This generation is like matching with their kid. Maybe we need to go back to just being drunks and ignoring our children. I don't know. It's all, there's no real way to move through the world anymore with any kind of dignity. So it's just a matter of how to be the least cringe you can possibly be and still survive, I guess.
And people always have a problem with it no matter what, as long as we know that.
Well, that's why I don't read comments about anything I do, because I already know myself. And if they criticize it, I go, well, of course.
Yeah.
Well, of course I sucked, so
yeah, totally. Like, we're our own worst critic. Like, I agree with you. I mean, I wouldn't be trying to get strangers' approval if I liked myself. So just, if I don't get your approval, don't worry, we're good.
All right. In summation, we all have problems, big problems.
Yes.
No, this is, by the way, I love this show. I hope it was good. Going on shows I'm a fan of is always a little nerve-wracking.
Well, I'll be a therapist for a second. What makes you think it wasn't great?
Don't start again. No.
No. All right, sorry.
No, it's more. I think it's like, I'm real friends with Spade, and I'm getting to know you, Dana. So
that's what's great.
Yeah, I'm like,
that's what's great about this. Yeah.
And I think people tune in because they want to hear you guys. I hope I didn't talk too much.
They hear us all the time.
Yeah.
No, we don't. This was great. I mean, sometimes people are very shy, and it's a little bit trying to get them to come out of their shell. And so you were just like, bam, it's great.
Oh,
but
gosh. Okay. I'll shut up.
Trying to think.
All right. Thank you, Whitney.
We'll
call us after, and we will take an hour 15 out of it.
Can I say one other thing I love, just to make everyone laugh about Spade? My favorite thing is what Spade calls women's garments and makeup and stuff. I'm obsessed. One time he was telling me a story about this girl, and he's like, we got along great, but it wasn't gonna, didn't seem like more was gonna happen. And then she went to the bathroom and she came out wearing a teddy.
No, I think I said nightgown, didn't I? Or I call it a teddy?
Well, teddy is funny. Nightgown's not as funny. Teddy is
what's
funny.
An older term?
It's like a sexy nightie.
No,
or
you made fun
That's
of
it.
me because you said, "What am I on my cheeks?" And I said rouge or something, and I didn't know what the names of all the makeup was.
Dana, for makeup, like, what goes here on a girl on the cheek?
Oh, rouge.
That's blush. That's blush.
Kylie Jenner rouge kit.
What goes all over the skin?
I don't know. My wife does it alone. I don't really see.
Yeah, thank you. It's personal.
I don't know, but yeah, it's we can learn.
What's this called?
What do you think it's called, Whitney?
What's that called? Just smoothing out the makeup? What's their official word for just rubbing your face?
It's all makeup.
It's like the color of your skin.
Word.
It's the color of your skin, and it goes all over your skin.
Powder. Right?
Base.
Base.
Is that it? Base. And then you put the eyelashes on and the lipstick and all this stuff. And then you're ready to go walk the street, make some money. You know what I mean? Make a couple bucks. Hi, I'm Bill Burr's brother. And I want to tell you, we love Bill Burr. We love everyone.
Oh, my God. That's so funny to me.
Okay, Whitney, I'll see you on the freeway.
Okay. Love you guys. Thank you.
Love you. Thanks for being on our show. Our next guest is a charming, funny young man. Sorry, I thought I started as Johnny.
I like it.
I should do Johnny. Our next guest is a charming, funny young man. Had a lot of success with the television show The Office with Steve Carell. And, of course, The Hangover
Ed, have you
trio.
seen The Office? Ed, have you seen The Hangover's a little rougher on the edges.
The Office takes place in an office.
Yeah.
It's Ed Helms, everybody.
Yep. You know the face. He does commercials. He was in the Vacation reboot, I think. Mm-hmm. I saw that. Funny. He was great on The Office. Obviously, the Hangover movies, you can't escape. They're so funny, and all three of them.
Yeah.
With Todd Phillips
a lot
at the helm.
About that.
We get all the deets and ins and outs of those movies. And really fun guy. Looks young, Dana.
He really looked young because when you're on
shimmery
on the Zoom, you see your face and you see his face, and you go, "Huh, what's
you go, what
different?
The fuck is going on?" We look pretty young, but he's in better shape. So I'm going to start doing whatever that is.
he's got a later date on his birth certificate, but he is he's charming, likable, and funny, and tells some great stories. And one of the giant waves to go from The Office to the Hangover movie was just like, sort of be shot out of a rocket ship or whatever they say.
Yeah,
so he's a funny young man, and enjoys this. And I think you're going to enjoy this one, right, Ed?
Yes, enjoying the younger actors. Not that great.
No, it actually was pretty good. I'm laughing because it was actually the right tone.
Very shimmery. Good skin.
All right.
Ed Helms, guys.
Ed Helms. Ed Helms. Thanks for coming on.
Oh my God.
We love having you.
This is a great privilege for me. I am very excited to be here.
Yeah.
Honored. I would say honored.
Oh, okay.
Only mildly.
Thank you.
Only mildly embarrassed, but
Okay.
mostly honored.
But no mixed feelings. Hopefully.
Yes.
What I read a quote the other day. Someone said about Kamala Harris. It's not about her at all, but just the phrase "up the wazoo." I hadn't seen it. It was in the New York Times. Like, she's got experience up the wazoo. I just put it out there for you guys as a starting off point for the
to talk about the.
I haven't heard that in a while.
It's gone away for sure.
It feels 1960s to me.
Is it new to you, Dana? Because I've definitely heard it before.
Is it new to you, Dana?
But I do feel like I haven't heard it since college.
Ed, David, and Ed. No, I think it's very 60s. With bitchin' and stuff like that. You guys are younger than me, but we don't have to get into that.
Was there ever a wazoo?
There was a thing. A wazoo was like, no, it was a little metal. Oh fuck! I was one letter off.
Yeah, and
one. Damn it!
Accent.
Here's my research.
But
Ed Helms.
There it is.
I saved these for my book.
Can somebody Google
wazoo?
Wazoo? I want to know what.
See what it is.
I would assume it's like
colloquial,
ass, right?
That's what I'm assuming.
Yeah.
It's the huge ass of an Arctic elk. It says. No, I don't know.
Oh God, you had me. It was such a good.
What is
such
it?
a specific.
A person's anus.
Oh.
There you go.
It says it in there. That's got to be slang.
A human anus.
That was a record.
The sad part is this is part of the podcast. We are.
Well, we always say anus on the podcast at some point, but that was only 242.
Anus is a very clinical term, and I do find it sexy. I do find it funny when you mix like a formal doctor setting with like I have a pain in my wazoo.
Right. When a doctor said to me, I said, I have a pain down here by my hip flexor. He said, it's here. There's a hip flexor. There's a tendon that goes right next to your nut sack. And I go, well,
yeah. Nickname doctor is a funny sketch. Your man unit is experiencing difficulties. Yeah. It's Nick. What would it be? Nickname doctor. You would have done it on a segment on Jon Stewart.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
the Daily.
We got into that.
Yeah.
Well, because I remember you reminded me of Will Ferrell in the sense you're running around kind of naked around. You're like, you have little bikini briefs on.
No way.
Yeah. That was.
And then you lean down and you go, I got a camera under my ball. Sorry, it's the blue shell, but
nutsack. Well, let's use the clinical term. It's a nutsack.
Good. We've moved on from the anus.
And you're referring to a field segment I did in which
on the Daily Show.
Yeah, Point Pleasant, New Jersey had just reversed a decades-long ban on banana hammock type bathing suits or Speedo. And so they had banned those for men for decades. They reversed the ban. And so I, of course, went to Point Pleasant, New Jersey and wanted the Speedo point of view. So we put a camera under my nutsack and I walked the streets
This is television. It sounds like filth.
It is absolute filth. I'm not proud of it.
No.
I'm mad it came up.
Yeah. Mad it aired.
Me and my darn research.
I am the Speedo Bandito. Have you ever worn one in real life?
I was a competitive swimmer in high school. I wore them all the time.
Oh my God.
When you say competitive, let's like what was your your stroke? What was your best stroke?
My bet stroke. Let's talk stroking. I was good at freestyle and butterfly. Those were my strokes. Yeah.
Butterfly's kind of violent. I mean, it's weird.
I don't know. I think it's elegant. It's like a kind of dolphin.
When you can
it's like very beautiful. It's yeah.
So what was your resting pulse when you were like 17 in the morning? Because I did track and field and intervals and all that stuff.
Dana's into pulses and things.
My resting pulse was 34.
You knew your resting pulse in high
Is that
school?
good or bad? I don't even know
what was all the rage. That was your pulse rate. You know, I
don't know. I have no idea. I don't even know what it is now.
Could you get back to us maybe after the podcast?
I will. I'll check.
Dana's like, I met my wife. We were talking about pulses one day and
just connected.
Just sort of a common interest. Yeah. So you swim. Is freestyle the one where you go one arm, one arm, one arm, one arm?
That's the classic.
Freestyle, that's like the straight ahead basic.
Tarzan swim.
Yeah. Is there a treading water? There's not that, is there?
No, not in. I mean, water polo guys do that.
Do they touch the ground or they don't touch the ground?
No, they don't touch the bottom at all.
Oh,
and same with with what do you call it? Synchronized swimming. Like they don't even They don't touch
cross
the bottom
out one more Olympic sport I won't be doing.
But you had to have been crazy fit swimming like that.
What am I mean, what's coming to mind? Yeah, I was in good shape. I was in really good shape in high school. And then I stopped.
Yeah, what happened?
You're in good shape now. Life's been good to you. I want to meet your dermatologist.
Yeah, you look good, dude. I don't know if
my dermatologist is Zoom. I have the little what is the facial facial smoothing.
Blurry background is a good way to maybe look better or worse because it's so much focus on just
what's your app? Because I want to get it with the blurred background. You look filmic right now.
I think you have.
I'm going to tell you guys. I'm going to give you guys a little tech support on how to look hot. HWT. I want you to go into your camera menu.
I like
in
this.
your. Well, I'm actually.
What's that?
Where's
camera?
Don't you love how tech support people always say, "All right, do me a favor. Go to your file menu."
I like go to your dashboard. I go in my car.
Yeah.
They go, and you just
do me a favor. Do me a favor.
Do me a favor.
Do me a favor.
Here's what we're gonna do.
Do you see what do you see right now?
You mind if I share your screen?
Big blur.
I don't know if we're there yet.
Yeah, let me take over your screen. I'm just gonna dip. I'm gonna dip into your personal accounts.
If
and your
it's
photos.
okay with you,
just give me complete control over this.
Do you care if I close this window that says bonerlicious.com? And I go, no, go ahead. I don't need that anymore. I'm almost straight faced when they talk about porn. I go, no, that's fine.
No. Hold on. Could you just leave that one? Do you need to close it?
What does closing windows do to help? Just leave it. Just push it to the side.
Is it taking up
RAM? You got to close windows. You got to close. You got to close the windows.
Oh yeah, that's Trump. When
Sorry, I had to throw in a little Trump.
Yeah.
Oh, Trump tech support. That is a good.
Yeah, you got to close the windows. We're gonna close
the windows. We're gonna close more windows. They've never seen windows closed like this. This is the window closing. Do me a favor.
Go to your file menu.
JD, get in here. He's young. He's vibrant. Look at the beard and the blue eyes. Get in here.
Get in. You don't need.
Hey, Dad.
You don't need a filter. I hate to talk your regular job stuff, but when you do the Daily Show, so do you have to be somewhat political? You just have to be funny, right? They don't. It's just like what happens in politics. They find a spin on it, and then they say maybe this will be funny to do a field piece kind of thing.
Yeah, I would imagine it's comparable to the kind of SNL cultural satire, right?
Yeah.
You're just kind of looking at what's happening and trying to figure out. So the formula for field pieces, which is what I did the most of, was very simple. It was sort of like find a news item, like for example, that Point Pleasant, New Jersey story, and then just take the dumbest possible stance. or in the case of one I did about a guy who was like, who was anti, like trying to, what was he? He was trying to start a straight pride parade in Boston, I think. So obviously he's like a jerk. And then the formula is you just take his side, and then or you just take the wrong side.
Do you ever go with him and say, let's do this? And then he doesn't know he's being clowned or whatever.
Well, yeah. I sat with that guy. We did an interview. There was another guy that was trying to do he was a libertarian, and he started it was ironic, but it was to make a statement. He started a Guns for Tots program, and just to make his like libertarian statement. And of course, and it was like giving away free gun toys to children on playgrounds.
It's a tough sell.
So I went.
I had toy guns, guilty.
Yeah, I had toy guns. I shot every kid on the block.
I had real guns. No, it was but he was so ridiculous. And then a lot of times people, they might even know the Daily Show already, but they think that they can sort of outsmart you.
Yeah.
So you sit with them, and it was a little, I will say, like, kind of the disingenuous part of it was hard for me, because I grew up in the South. I'm very people pleasy. I just want to like make people comfortable and laugh and have a nice time and a nice hangout. And I'm suddenly in this job where I have to sit across from someone and try to make them squirm or ask like horrible.
That gets me itchy.
Questions. Yeah. And so there was a little bit of just something that went against my grain somehow. And I kind of forced myself to do it. I did love, it was fun to find those really rare moments of like extreme comedy in those moments of tension. But I think I gravitate more towards just good scripted comedy. Like, the SNL stuff was always, that was just like probably everyone that you interview, that was my dream, was to be on SNL and to have your job. And I just looked up to guys like you, and it was, so that was always, and then the Daily Show became, all right, this feels like something I can do also. And my favorite parts on the Daily Show were actually the scripted segments, the studio chats, like with John, where I'd be like at a green screen, in Baghdad or whatever. And those were really more like sketches.
That's fun because you write them ahead of time. You know where the beats are. You think it's going to kill up front.
Yeah.
And at least you have faith in it. I've done field pieces, and I produced a prank show. That made me so itchy. And then field pieces, my theory, I did some on SNL too, where it's have a wispy idea, go out, shoot 12 and a half hours, and you get a 2.5 minute bit.
Yeah. Yeah. If you shoot enough footage, you're going to get something.
You can get an extra laugh out of a fucking reaction shot or something. Just get something, because sometimes you get it and you go, this is a little thin, guys. And then they go, well, let's get in there, and they edit it and they add something, a little music, and you go, okay, not too shabby,
Yeah, true. You're absolutely right. It was those field pieces were built in the edit, and sometimes they fell apart in the edit. There were field pieces I did that just died in the edit room. It was like, there's just no way to save this, which was that's when you walk out like, oh, I'm getting fired today. This is not working out.
Dana, I did one where I went to a plastic surgeon, and we were running out of bits, and I go, let's just go. And then I go, what would you do to me? It's like the dumbest thing, because it got real quick. So he goes, let's just take a quick picture of you. And I go, well, and I started getting a little weird. I go, well, like this is already going sideways on me. Because he goes, oh, there's a lot we could do to you. And I go, okay, this wasn't the way in my head it was going to go. And then he takes one picture, and then he goes, hang on. I'm sitting across from his desk. I'm looking at the camera, and I'm like, it was funnier the fact that I was sickened by it. Then he turns and he goes, okay, here's the 14 things I would do to you. And 9 of these are like non-negotiable. Like you have to do by noon tomorrow. I'm like, what? He goes, take it all off the nose, take it off your eyes, take it off your hair, take it off your forehead, and we could get you up to an 8. And I'm like, well, I don't want to talk about this anymore. And then I just walk out.
Wait a minute.
I got hit by a car. I'm like, hello,
he
darkness.
Used 8 as
a 8 is the maximum?
Yeah. He goes, listen, we're not a fucking miracle workers. He goes,
what did he say? You currently
grand, you can get to an 8 from a 4 or 7. I go, well, who said I was a 4? What are my numbers are going? Are we polling people? Because I ran into the zip check on a computer.
Did that air? Can I watch that?
Yeah, I think. Is that on somewhere?
I think that was from Lights Out. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe Showbiz Show.
That's brutal.
It's brutal, dude.
That's brutal. Who is this guy?
That guy's mean.
He took it seriously. He goes, oh yeah, like I've been waiting for a guy like you to walk in. He goes, we're gonna fix you right up.
Oh, there's so much you can do.
Oh my god,
you're such.
Tell me you have no budget.
You're a piece of clay. I can mold you.
You're literally like a piece of clay that hasn't been shaped, just a blobby piece of blob. And
I don't know if this is true or not, or if it's a wives' tale that George Burns went in at 96 and got some work done. No, I'm kidding.
All that way? You took us all that way?
I just thought it was a funny idea of even at 96.
He got 5 of his 35 wrinkles removed.
Dude,
it was hard to tell.
What about when you see like the Golden Girls were all like, 31 years old, and you're like, wait, on the show? Like, no wonder people thought 50-year-olds were so horribly old. It's like, Archie Bunker was 36 on that show. I'm like, good
I
God.
know. Do you ever watch old movies and just look up the age of the actors? You can't, right? John Wayne was 47 here. He looks wasted.
Yeah.
Him rough. And Ward Bond doing shots, smoking 100 cigarettes.
It's like they put whiskey on their face in the morning. It just looks like.
I think it was cool. They said John Wayne when he died. Have you ever heard this rumor? They found 55 pounds of dead meat in his colon that had
that wasn't that Elvis. It was impacted
he had a 55
fecal matter.
Turd.
No, it's impacted fecal matter is the actual medical
turd. This was cow meat that was still so raw that a good doctor could have brought it back to life.
Well, I know I got a lot in
fresh
there.
Burgers out of it.
Yeah, you could have thrown on the grill. By the way, the last thing on this was the Daily Show. Do you audition? Do you do a fake field piece, or how do you get on there?
Yeah, that was your first big thing, right?
Yeah, that was definitely my first big thing. I'll give you a little bit of the ramp into it. Mm-hmm. I graduated from college, and in the back of my head, I was like, I'm gonna get on SNL. Like that is my. I didn't tell anybody. I was very sort of. I mean, only maybe one or two of my closest friends knew how driven I was on that. And I moved to, but then I was like, well, how do I do that? And I was looking at
problem.
I totally agree.
Right. But I really was like analytical about it. And I was looking at you guys and others and how they had like the paths. And it became clear. It's like, you've got your groundlings sort of, pathway through Los Angeles. But then you also had this crop of New York City stand-up comedians like Adam Sandler and even Eddie Murphy and guys like that. Yeah. And I just felt like for some reason the stand-up comedy, and you, that's your background too, Dana, right? The stand-up.
Yeah, I was a pure stand-up. The Groundlings didn't exist in San Francisco. There was a couple of improv groups, but I didn't know anything about sketch comedy groups, so I did stand-up. So
yeah. That was what I was like, this feels like what I can do. It's kind of entrepreneurial. I can if I just apply myself, I can work my way up. And that's what I did. I just moved to New York, started doing all the open mics and gradually kind of got some, and I started auditioning for commercials and all that stuff. So
wait a minute. Were you terrified? I mean, your first set, how hard was that leap? Did you do enough theater in high school or college?
Yeah, I did a lot of theater.
Oh.
I did a lot of theater in high school and then a little bit in college, but theater was not what I wanted to do. But I started doing stand-up the summer after my junior year in college. I did my first set at Stand Up New York.
And
and what were you like initially? Like, who were you doing characters, voices, setups when you're writing all your stuff?
Yeah.
That does train you to write.
I would say, like, one of my favorite comedians at the time, and well, it still is Brian Regan. And I just always loved
love him.
Yeah. What a genius. And I just loved his, he would like describe something and then slip into the goofy character in that situation.
Yeah.
And so that was sort of how I would model my bits. Like, I would just sort of set something up and then kind of place myself in it, in like a dumber, goofier.
Like you say, I like when the guy at the gym comes up to you, hey, you using those weights? You know, just whatever you turn into the guys. Yeah. He's good at that. Yeah.
I had, these are some of, I mean, these are so embarrassing, but I had,
I want to hear them.
I had one of my, like, this was like my closer for a while. Was this long bit about how awkward it must be to be a goldfish, because when they poop, the strand of poop like stays attached to their body
for
a while they swim around. And so I would do this whole bit of like, what if that, like, then I would be like, imagine that happened to you at a bar, and you like go to the bathroom and you come back and you're like trying to like strike up a conversation, but you have like a string of poop, and it just went on, and it was but it was me in character, basically as myself, trying to sort of explain away this.
What was the final line of that bit? And then you said, I'm Ed Helms, good night.
Yeah.
What was the actual last line?
Well,
so the poo remains attached.
Thank you. Good night. Oh my gosh.
I finally had to say, does anybody have some scissors?
Yeah. Something like that.
And then you guys, thanks for coming down to Sir Laughs.
Hey, you guys have been great. You guys have been great.
Well, then I eventually dropped that one, and my next big one was going, like, it was a little story about taking a taxi and then getting out of the taxi and thanking the taxi driver, and then getting on an elevator and going up the elevator, and then I get to my floor and I step off and I turn around and thank the person still standing in the elevator for the elevator ride. And that was sort of a setup for me to just talk about all of my social awkwardness, which was has always been
a lot of thank yous,
somewhat extreme. Yeah, just, and then trying to explain to that person, like, oh, I'm sorry, I was in a taxi taking mindset. I hadn't switched over to the elevator taking mindset.
Yeah. I had one where someone's coming at the elevator and says, hold, please. And then you have to fake like you're trying to find the button.
Yeah.
I don't want this going. Everybody had an elevator.
I do that. I start on the ceiling. I go to the ceiling. Oh my God, is it up here? And then they're like, no, on the wall. I'm like, behind me? And they're like, oh, it's closed.
Every comedian did that.
Oh, yeah.
Army issue.
Yeah. Or racing to get on the subway, and you get it. I did this one for years. You race down the stairs and then sprint down the platform, and you get on the train and you're like, and then the doors don't close for 5 minutes. And you're just standing there panting, having to explain, like, I'm sorry, I thought the doors were going to close. That's why I ran.
Yeah.
Why am I walking you through all of my the lowest point in my comedy?
Well, you're not using this anymore, and we're always in the hunt for that's laying around.
You know what, Dana? You can have it. You can have it. You could have this.
People get me bits. You know what you should say? This guy at this work says this, tells me a joke everyone knows. You can have it. You can have this one. That's yours.
I tried to give this to someone recently. An elevator bit. On the elevator with a guy or woman, whatever. They get off and they go, see you later. Should I be worried? What do you mean, see you later? Did I take a ride with Dexter? Come on.
Yeah, come on, Christ sakes.
Who is this guy?
So you have a big resume. I don't know where to go, but Daily Show. So stand up. You got good, and they saw you.
Well, I got into the sort of Comedy Central at the time. There were so many stand-ups doing like this premium blend show and all kinds. They were just they were sticking stand-ups everywhere, and I kind of got on the radar, and then the Daily Show, which at that point I was watching religiously because I had really fallen in love with the show, and I was feeling like I think I can do that. I was sort of studying it, and then kind of out of nowhere, I get this. They had this huge cattle call, and I go, and I'm really inexplicably arrogant. Like I really felt like I had done the homework, which is rare for me because I'm not good at preparing for things. But I just felt like I'd been working on my SNL audition. I had like a little stable of characters or whatever. But then at the same time, I was like really studying Stephen Colbert and Steve Carell and those guys. And a friend of mine had auditioned maybe like a year before and hadn't gotten it. And I was like, yeah, like, of course you didn't get it because you didn't do the 5 things that they all do. How do you not know that? How did you? So I was just kind of a nerd about it. And I got out of the, few hundred cattle call people, I was one of 5 or 6 callbacks. And that was a sit down. That was a segment in the studio with John. So they give you a script. Now, ordinarily, again, I would be terrified, but they give me the script, and it was a script that Colbert had just done on the show like 2 weeks before. And I knew exactly how he did it and all of the tricks and stuff and the kind of like newscaster cadence. And which I learned from your Tom Brokaw, Dana.
One of my earliest bits was going back to that for a second, newscaster ordering dinner with his wife. And a surprise coming on my wife today. She'll have her steak medium rare and a cup of black coffee instead of the traditional cream and sugar. So it is a funny cadence. And you had it.
Yeah, it's like a weird, people don't realize that. And you see it in movies a lot when actors play newscasters. They don't get it right. Because it's totally its own thing.
Yeah.
But Colbert and Carell at the time and others, Mo Rocca, Vance DeGeneres, those guys were crushing it on the show.
Vance DeGeneres.
And crushing. By the way, I just want to ask you, what was it like when you met Carell and Colbert?
I was so nervous. That wasn't until I actually got cast, but it's so funny thinking back on it. It was a basic cable Comedy Central show. Like it wasn't, and it became more of a phenomenon, but it really wasn't that big a deal in the world. But to me, it was my whole world. I was so excited, and I had to like pretend not to be excited and nervous because that's like that when you're too excited or nervous in a comedy setting, everyone's like, get out of here. Like you're totally ruining the vibe.
Gross.
It's just hard. Try not to try to be confident, not cocky. They're all in this clique and they have all their one-liners and you're the new guy. That's always hard.
Try not to try. That is literally advice I got the first week with a segment producer that I was working with. She was like, you're a little too eager. You're too excited to be here.
and that was Joe Biden was the segment producer. You're too eager. Guess what? The fact of the matter is, you're too eager.
Yeah.
No, that happened. So I just assumed those guys, because I gave them a job a few years earlier and I auditioned them and became friends with them.
Oh,
and
of course. Yeah.
They're not normal show business guys. I mean, they've been married for a half century.
Right.
They're so Midwestern. That I just wondered how they would be. They're kind of like on the show and they're becoming stars, and you're the new guy coming in. I assume they were incredibly kind. I hope so.
So great. And Carell and I only overlapped for a few months before he left to do, I think, Watching Ellie or he got his own sitcom. And then of course,
Watching Ellie.
He really blew up on Bruce Almighty, which came out like a little while later. But or Evan Almighty, I guess, or Bruce.
Evan Almighty.
The first one, was Bruce was the one where he was the newscaster that was like gibberish talking, and
that was the Jim Carrey one.
Yeah, the Jim Carrey one is where he really popped. Yeah, because he was so funny,
so funny. And then he finds his way to The Office. I don't want to leap ahead, but then you both end up on The Daily Show, and you both end up on The Office. It's one of those things.
Yeah, I've had a front row seat to Carell for many decades.
Has he changed? Has he ever gotten slightly cocky?
The worst. He started out the worst. He stayed the worst. No, truly the best. Like gentleman and kind, and never. I mean, I will get to the office stuff. I have a lot to say about that. But
people will want to hear from you on
that. But I forget where I was. Somewhere. Oh, so I get the audition and I go in for this segment with John, and I knew how to do it. And again, I was like weirdly kind of self-assured. I'm a generally kind of anxious person, so it was one of those rare moments where I felt like I was where I was supposed to be, and that's such a rare, beautiful gift of a feeling when we get it, which I feel like is probably rare for everyone. But the audition went really well, and then they basically said, okay, so we're going to hire you and your buddy Rob Corddry, who I had come up through like improv. He was more from the improv comedy space in New York, but I had also been doing a lot of improv because that was where Conan O'Brien was pulling cast for his sketches on his show, and so I'd gotten kind of into that world, and with the Upright Citizens Brigade. But anyway, Rob and I get hired, and we don't get hired. They say, we're going to give you guys segments to do, and we're going to see how you do.
Try out.
Yeah. So essentially, it was like a full blown TV segment, but as a tryout. And so that was my first one, and that was the one where the field producer, who was so great, she was like, I felt like she was on my side. Like she wanted me to do well, which is kind of rare in show business. And she was the one who, like, a couple of days in, she's like, look, this is going great. We're going to have a lot of fun when we go shoot this thing, because you do like 2 weeks of prep work for one of those. She's like, and we're doing meetings with John and the writers and whatever. She's like, this is going great. And you're trying a little too hard. You're too happy to be here. And then so I tried to sort of this like
woman.
She was so great, and I tried to swallow my eagerness a little bit and act cool, even though I felt out of my mind. I was so excited to be there, and it worked. The segment went really, really well, and John really liked it, and then I pitched another segment. My second segment was probably the one that clinched it for me. And that was kind of like your plastic surgery bit, David. It was it was called Touched by a Scalpel. And it was right after Katie Couric had gotten a colonoscopy on camera for the Today Show.
Right. Yes.
And so we're sort of like satirizing like the dramatization of medical, news people going into medical situations and then making a story out of it, kind of like exploiting themselves. And I had a mole removed from my nostril, and we made this huge dramatic segment about it, and it was the most inconsequential thing, but it was very, very fun and silly and went really well. And then that's when it locked up.
Right. And then at some point, I don't know when it happens, you're out there with John. It's a year later or something, and the crowd goes crazy when they see you. I mean, that's
is that when you finally come?
It's a heady thing. That idea of success on television and people being just happy, especially comedians. If you make someone laugh, it's sticky.
Yeah, you're so right, Dana. It's like when you feel that when you feel like the audience knows you and actually has like you're starting off ahead of the starting line because the audience is already warm to what you do. That took a while, but then also weirdly, and I don't know what how your SNL experiences were specifically, I've lots of friends who've, been cast members, but it really, after that initial sort of like ramp up, like you're saying, of maybe 5-6 months of just like pure excitement and bliss, like then the sort of like sine wave kicked in of like anxiety and that segment went terrible, or John didn't laugh at that joke or whatever. And then you're sort of like I don't know, I started to kind of just poison myself a little bit with negative thoughts, and then you do something great and you're back on top, and then you're just sort of riding this.
It's SNL, same thing.
Yeah.
SNL, because you have great shows where it really works, and it's very rare. And then you have shows that are just okay. And it's hard not to kind of go. But on SNL, you just, same thing. You got the next show.
Yeah.
Usually. Unless it's the finale. This is the end of the season. It would be like really, really good if it was like a good show as opposed to a bad show.
Dana.
We love Lauren.
Yeah.
We like good shows. Yeah. There was one, I did a field segment, I remember, and we get back to the edit and we're working on it, and John would always come in for a screening or two and give notes, and he comes in and gives a screening and he's like, "Ooh, I don't know, guys. I don't know if this one's going to work." And he's like, "Give it another day and then let's see how it goes." And so we keep working on it. We're like rewriting all the voiceovers and whatever, trying to chop it up. And John comes in the next day. He's like, "Okay, all right, let's work on this some more. This is getting somewhere." And then he digs in with us, and he's spending time in there, which was very unusual in the field segments. Usually he would just give notes, but like he's in there with us. And I'm like, is this good or bad? Like, is it good that he's here, or is he like trying to resuscitate?
Right. It could go either way.
And then a day or two goes by, and it's been in the edit way too long at this point, but it's undeniably good by the end of it. So it's like, okay, it's going to air. Thank God. Okay. And it plays that night on the show, gets a huge reaction from the audience. And I said to John after the show, I was like, that went really, really well. Kind of like, can you believe it went so great after such a tough process? And his response was something like, "Well, yeah, I mean, you can make anything good if you work hard enough on it." And it was kind of like, it was basically saying like, we kind of had to like waste a lot of time polishing your turd. That's how
you interpret it. That's a backhanded compliment.
But it was I think it was a genuine way of saying like, do better. Like you gotta deliver. Like you can slave over something and really like
put all hands on deck.
And that'll get it passable. But like let's get it.
You can't burn that much time and man hours. Yeah. You're supposed to be better. It shouldn't get to him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So now you're successful. And how did you find your way to The Office? Another smash.
So
the smash, I suppose, of the last quarter century or something. It's a phenomenon.
Well, so of course I knew Steve, and I actually had a bit part in Evan Almighty, which was really fun. Okay. And he had started working on The Office at that point. And I remember when they cast Steve as the Ricky Gervais character, I just remember thinking like, he is going to crush this. He's like so perfect for that.
Yes.
Because like he brought this kind of like affable obliviousness to his Daily Show pieces. And I just knew it would be so good as
awkward, clueless guy.
Weirdly arrogant in ways.
But still likable. He had it was a perfect match of a part to a performer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I sensed that even before the show started. And then of course it was so good. And then it became another show that I watched religiously, in kind of a studious way, also as a fan. And I actually auditioned for it. So when NBC was casting the original cast, I think I read for Jim or Dwight, I can't remember who, but I went into 30 Rock for a casting session, and obviously didn't get the part. Wasn't devastated because I loved my job at the Daily Show. But then a year or two goes by, and I loved the fake documentary format, and I worked with a friend on a short that was basically a short documentary about a zombie trying to like get his life together and get out and then like start dating more. And he was just complaining about the sort of like difficulties of being a zombie and all the assumptions that people make about zombies. And so it was a lot of like, it was very Office style, like talking to the camera mixed with like B-roll and little bits. And we paid for like really good zombie makeup. So it was just very, very silly. And somehow that got into Greg Daniels' hands, Greg being the
Greg Daniels,
creator showrunner of the American Office. And I got asked to pop in for a chat with Greg, and that's when they told me, hey, we've been thinking about this character. He's like a Connecticut yacht club kid, and he's kind of an idiot. And we think it could be really fun. What do you think? And I just started kind of like pitching on it a little bit, and it could be like this and this. And we just had a really fun chat about what this Andy Bernard would eventually become. And then it kind of felt similar to the Daily Show, because there was this sense of like the story's going to split and they're going to take Jim to the Stamford branch, and we're just going to try out these people. And if it doesn't work, we're just going to float Jim right back to Scranton. And so it was a very uncertain casting. It wasn't like join the cast of The Office. It was more like, come on, let's see how it goes. And so that was
just like the Daily Show.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. So, but it put Rashida and me in this funny little crucible together. And I think we really bonded at that time, because it was so uncertain feeling and like, what's going on? But it was so fun. And again, it was one of those rare moments where I just felt like, oh, this Andy Bernard character, I get him. I get why he's a doofus. I get why this is like fun and funny. And
what's the vibe like on there? Is it stressful?
The Office set?
Finishing a thought. I'm sorry. Yeah. Is it like run and gun? I mean, it's probably pretty thought out, but is it stressful? We got to get our days. There's some shows that are tougher than they look,
Yes. And I would say it was long, very long hours, early mornings, and then kind of late evenings a lot. But it was such a cohesive group, and there was very little, if any, drama. The writers were a few people from SNL, like Mike Schur had come on board, and of course Greg Daniels' origin was SNL.
Yeah,
but
great.
But it felt. I would say the vibe was exceptionally good. It was an exceptionally good group of people that was enjoying each other, making each other laugh. The writing was everyone believed in the writing and believed in the show. And that takes you so far. I think if you're getting scripts where you're disappointed or even a little apprehensive about doing something or whatever, that's when tension and like interpersonal conflict can start to creep in to a whole show dynamic. But really the shows were so good, like the scripts were so good, and the cast was so funny. Everyone made each other laugh. And what I was going to say about Steve, we were starting to talk about Steve a little bit before. The thing I think that that made it work so well for so long is that Steve understood, and in a lot of ways, I think sort of passively taught all of us. He understood what it meant to lead a cast. And he understood that, and I don't even know if he thought about this or if it was just sort of his natural instinct, but he was always on time and he always knew his lines and he never, ever complained. He would get exasperated here and there, you could tell, but he was never like complaining about the process or the people.
Yeah.
And when the top dog on a set is behaving that way, it makes it impossible for anyone under that person to behave in any
Too
other
squeaky,
way. Yeah, because then it's like, well, Steve's not complaining. Steve has more lines than anybody. He's in more scenes than anybody. He has to work harder than any of us, and he's not complaining. So like, why would you complain? And I think we all kind of internalized that. Again, I wasn't even aware of it at the time. It just was sort of like, oh, this is how we are on this set. We show up and we are there for each other.
I don't think Steve's capable of that, being a Midwesterner, but it's also like he was passed over for SNL, and if you make it at 23, it's easier to develop being a little bit spoiled. But if you know that you have a job, and never losing gratitude over that, you know, and I think Steve would be incapable of that. But I just loved, it was such a breath of fresh air in America, just the way everyone was alive in the frame all the time, just with little glances and stuff. Just the way it was shot, it just made it just so real, as opposed to brilliant sitcoms where there's laugh tracks and all that. So stating the obvious there, but the thing that's interesting now is how big it's become since it went off, and it's on Netflix. It's just huge.
I agree. It took on a life of its own even after the show ended. And I still have little kids come up to me that are so excited about The Office. I'm like, you weren't even born when the show ended.
Yeah.
And and it's still resonating for you. And I think it's a testament to the commitment of the writers and the cast and the vibe. Like this vibe that I'm talking about that everyone felt on set made it somehow through the screen. And I think people feel the warmth of it, and they feel.
And you also know you're working on a show that works. It's like a hit. Like that helps a lot.
Yeah. And it's growing. So anyway, it was because we don't have all day, but we have a lot of time, just because you go from that, you get to The Office. I know there's all this stuff happening. And then all of a sudden, and you've done a lot of other things, but The Hangover happens.
Yeah.
The movie, The Hangover, one of the biggest comedy hits of all time. And so what are you feeling at that point, and how did that come about? Because that thing was great. I look at those comedies just in context. I look at Tropic Thunder. The one question I wanted to ask you, and then Hangover. Is there anything in The Hangover that couldn't be made today?
Oh, I think
a
so.
lot of things.
The ending credits.
I haven't watched it in quite a few years, but my gut feeling is that a lot of it.
I just assume
probably a little tricky tonally. But
well, Todd Phillips, the director, kind of stopped doing comedy and went and did The Joker. He felt there were too many rules because of whatever the culture had shifted. But that movie, it was just like Tropic Thunder. I think the year before when I went and saw it, it caught me off guard in a great way. I really laughed my ass off at that movie. First blush.
Good title, R-rated. Everybody's good in it. Well,
such a clean concept. Yeah. I think by the way, it's making my year that you're saying that. That really, really means a lot.
About what?
that you liked the movie, a movie that I was in. I really appreciate that.
Well, Bradley Cooper and Zach and you, the three of you guys, it was 3 different notes. It was it's a perfect casting. You guys were all, but it just had a lively pop to it that you can't,
I also think it was a little, the plot of that movie is kind of a magic trick, because I was in a hotel lobby maybe a month or week or two after it came out. And there was a group of old ladies, like literally grandmothers, sitting around talking about bits from the movie and how funny it was. And I remember thinking, okay, this, and then of course you had like all the frat boys that love it, so the movie did this thing where like the guys, the characters are behaving horribly in a way that like is very aspirational for like young men to be like party animals, right? And so they are party animals, and that appeals to like young people. But then the next morning they're mortified by their own behavior. So that's what makes it redemptive to the older set, who are like, oh, these sweet boys got themselves in a pickle. And it kind of like
should have been called the pickle.
The pickle. You're right. Damn it. But it did. I've always thought that plot was very special because it was able to appeal. There were parts of the story that connected to so many people.
Yes. It was just such a funny device that they're basically blackout drunk, and then they're figuring out all this stuff going backwards. And
it's such an open way to
feeling very human about it. What?
Yeah.
I don't remember that, and you guys that was Tyson, right? Punching.
Oh, yeah.
Was that the first one, second one? Do you remember?
Tyson was in the first one.
And the second.
And the second one.
Yeah.
He's in the end of the second one. Yeah. Second one's where I get his tattoo.
But getting Tyson and using Tyson, and how Tyson has become now with hotboxing podcasts, and how he's become this cultural figure that everybody loves. It was just, the movie was paced in a way that all of a sudden you're seeing a tiger and Tyson. Like it's just, just like it moves on such a great pace. It just never let up.
You still talk to the tiger?
Yeah, it was so good. I got in there and I didn't want to punch the tiger. He told me, you said you got to punch the tiger. I said, I don't want to punch the tiger because I got tigers. Sorry.
Can I tell you something? It is terrifying working with tigers. Have you ever?
No way.
Worked with a tiger? I don't want to do it
with their real indigenous teeth and claws.
Something. So the first night we worked with the tigers,
telling you to relax.
The thing. The basically the tigers are sort of only restrained by the illusion of restraint. Like the tiger believes that their cord is strong enough, but actually they could break it if they got really freaked out or break.
They said the tiger believes. Is that what it is? The tiger the tiger believes it can't break the cord, but it probably could.
Yeah, it's something like that. Well, I don't know. We're just looking at these leashes and like that is not
too strong.
Sufficient. Like that is not.
No.
And then the first night that we worked with the tiger, it was at the Tyson Mansion set, which was out in Chatsworth, I think, and the tigers were on this truck and in these big cages, like on a big flatbed in these big cages, and as dusk set in, because it was a night shoot, and so dusk is setting in, and the wind is whipping up. And there's all these trees and tall grass, like, just like kind of billowing in the wind. And the tigers are growling in their cage, like back and forth, pacing, getting really anxious and antsy. And we're like, what's going on? And the trainer's like, oh, they're nocturnal. They're night hunters. So they're getting keyed up. They're getting keyed up
for someone to kill.
So what is it? So they're night hunters, and we're just
like 5 minutes.
Yeah, we're going to start with a night shoot. And they give you this whole like safety lecture about how to like, don't turn your back on the tiger because if they see your back, they think you're fleeing.
They want to attack.
That's what makes them want to attack.
You'll never get bit. If you do, put pressure on it right away.
Or point at the tiger and yell, stop. Because that's what we were told to do with dogs that would chase us when we were running. Get eye contact and yell, stop. But that would be terrifying with a tiger.
And then, of course, Bradley, that later on we're doing the some of those photos for the ending credits.
Yeah.
And Bradley's like, "Can I feed it?" And they're like, "Sure." They give him a giant milk bottle, and he's just standing there. I think it's one of the pictures in the credits where he's funny. Like actually feeding. And I was like, Bradley, what the hell? But
I love big movies that have budgets where I guess it was Todd Phillips. There's someone in a room writing. Mansion, Tyson punches tiger, and then it appears.
And it works out perfectly.
And it works out perfectly. It's
probably hard to do all that stuff. By the way, night shoots are tough anyway.
Oh yeah.
Just for anything. And then when I see a movie, when I write them with my buddies, we always go, the final draft is like, let's go through and eliminate anything that could be day. Because sometimes you just put it in there and you realize you don't need it. Or you shoot it inside and they darken the windows, because flipping a whole movie to night and you do splits, then you're like, it throws everything off. And so most people are sane enough to try to avoid night shoots.
What's your longest day on a set, you think, Ed, where you get there at 5?
Right. So
hours.
This is nuts. So I was shooting The Office at the same time as The Hangover.
Oh no.
And they had both been incredibly accommodating. So the Hangover said, we're going to make our work week Wednesday to Sunday. And The Office said, we're going to cross-board you, meaning they're going to condense all my scenes into Monday and Tuesdays of an Office production week. So there was one night where we did a night shoot in Las Vegas on a Sunday night, and I had to be on set for The Office at like 6:30 the next morning. But we're shooting until 4:30. And I couldn't tell each production exactly what was going on because they were freaked out. Yeah. So I, on my own dime, I chartered a little jet from Las Vegas to Van Nuys Airport, which was 10 minutes from the Office stages.
Okay.
And I wrap on The Hangover at like 4:30 or 5 in the morning, race to the airport in Las Vegas, jump in this little jet that was the size of a Honda Civic, and
Lear 25, probably.
I don't know what tiny little thing.
Yeah.
And I land in Van Nuys. I sleep maybe 15 minutes on this plane, and land in Van Nuys, go straight to my trailer on the Office stages, get changed, and start shooting and have a full day. And of course, they've cross-boarded me, so it's all me. I'm shooting every scene that day. And the craziest part about that day, and there were actually a couple of days that kind of were like that. But the craziest thing about that is that at the end of that Office production day, Ben Stiller had asked me to do this little. He was like, had some big benefit, and he wanted me to be in a comedy sketch that he was doing. I had agreed to it like a month before.
Oh, yeah.
And so it had squeezed in at the end of that Office production day. And I think I was on like my 7th or 8th Red Bull by the time I got to that. And I shot that thing, and it went fine, and then just zonked out. And I will say, as crazy as that was, and that was basically a month of like very intense insanity, flying back and forth from Vegas and like long days on both productions. It was also like one of the happiest months of my life. I loved every minute of it. The production of The Hangover was one of the most fun things I could ever have hoped to be a part of in this business. It was so collaborative. It was so none of us were, stars really at the time. And so everyone was just kind of like humble and eager to make something great. And it was a similar ethos to The Office, where like me, Zach, and Bradley actually were almost competitive about like being on time and like being professional and kind of showing up for Todd, because Todd he's like a very obviously fun and hilarious director, but he's very professional. Like it's a grown up set. It's not like it's not like other comedy movies I've been on where it's just kind of like feels like a party. But we loved it. I think all three of us just were so psyched to show up and do the work and find the jokes. We would take these breaks and just step aside. Todd would be like, what's wrong with this? Like, why isn't this funny enough? And we would all just figure it out. I remember.
Wow. He's now my favorite director. Just saying that, going to the actual performers and going, hey guys, what do you think?
Three funny guys. You're like,
but I just want to say here for people listening is that when you're in stuff you know's not working and you're trapped in it, whether it's a bad TV show or a movie or whatever, that is very exhausting. So your hours are insane, but you're in two spectacular things that are memorable to this day. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
I did not realize that was happening at the same time.
Well, I had my tooth removed. So I have an implanted tooth here that I've had since high school. And my dentist was able to take the crown off of it for the hangover.
Jesus.
But then I had to have a flipper that had a fake tooth on it to go to set on The Office.
Yeah.
And the weird thing is that it did affect my speech a tiny bit. Like if you really pay close attention, you could tell. But it was just one of like so many hilarious details about that time. It's crazy.
It's an amazing run.
Trifecta of 3 of those on top of everything else you did.
We should mention before we let you get back to your magnificent life. Besides looking 36, you have a podcast.
Yeah.
That's very cool called Snafu. Tell our audience about it.
Well, thank you so much for asking about it, Dana.
I love the idea of it, and I wanted, after you tell us what it's about, it's like the history that's happening right now in America in a apolitical sense. You got ears coming off, you got people resigning and stumbling.
Yeah.
And so to your podcast, you're actually... Go ahead.
Yes. Well, so it's called Snafu, and the premise is it's kind of a documentary history podcast, and the log line is it's about history's greatest screw ups, and it's just a really fun kind of cheeky look back at some moments in history where shit just went really sideways, and each season this is season 2 just came out. It's iHeartRadio or iHeart podcast, and along with Film Nation and Gilded Audio
and your production company name, which I like.
Oh yeah, Pacific Electric Picture Company is my company. And we all collaborated on
video or audio.
Pictures?
No, the podcast is audio.
The podcast is audio only. But it's season 1 was a look back at this crazy event in 1983 called Able Archer, where NATO had this giant military exercise where they're moving troops and navies all over the planet. And the Soviet Union looked at that and was like, hold on, guys, are you staging to invade us?
Is this practice for the invasion?
NATO said it was just an exercise, but the Soviet Union thought it was real staging for an invasion. And so they ramped up their nuclear posture. And then, of course, the U.S. clocked that, and our posture ramped up. A lot of historians believe it's the closest we came to a nuclear holocaust. And all of this was completely under the radar, not known to the public at all until just a few years ago. And it's an insane story, especially when you kind of look at the template of what Ronald Reagan and other politicians were saying at the time, and then now knowing what was going on underneath it. It's a wild story. That was season 1. Season 2 of Snafu just came out. I'm so proud of it. It's this is like the ultimate mashup of my nerdy love of history, and then of course my love of storytelling. Season 2 is the story of Medburg, which is a cute abbreviation for media burglary, and it is the town of Media, Pennsylvania, where a group of activists, anti-war activists in 1971, Vietnam War going on. It's a crazy, tumultuous time in America, and these activists felt like the FBI was getting a little bit shady and starting to intimidate or harass people. And so they were like, how do we prove this? And so just these citizen activists pulled off this insane heist where they break into an FBI office in Pennsylvania, steal files, and then they start to leak them to this very courageous reporter, Betty Metzger, at the Washington Post, and she starts to publish them. And that was the beginning of J. Edgar Hoover's sort of like exposure as a very dark figure.
How many years was he in the head of the FBI? I mean, he had files, and
my God,
he could have blackmailed everybody.
Yeah, he did. He flagrantly blackmailed lots of people. But even worse than that, he was harassing like so many civil rights activists. Martin Luther King was getting relentless harassment from the FBI, and then of course the anti-war activists were also getting harassed and at times blackmailed. They would write these poison pen letters. There's a famous one that they wrote to Martin Luther King that's just like basically telling him he should kill himself, but it's anonymous, right? It's like, what? But that came from the FBI. And then of course COINTELPRO was revealed, which is this which stands for Counterintelligence Program, and that was a program that under which the FBI was officially harassing and really like abusing its power and surveilling so much, like illegal surveillance of law-abiding citizens, which is terrifying and should terrify all of us.
I don't like that. Would season 3 potentially be the Trump assassination attempt? I mean, because that's like, what?
I don't.
But you have a large
actually,
part.
season 3 is in the works already. We have season 3 in the works. It's an exciting one. I'll talk about that next time I'm on the show.
Later,
I was told by your producer that it's about David and I starting this podcast. It's an actual documentary.
It's season 3 and 4.
This is all deep cover. Me doing research.
I love history as well, and things like that, what we don't know, which went on behind the scenes, is just fascinating. So anyway, Snafu. Ed Helm.
Snafu.
Well, thank you, Ed. It's actually a blast talking to you
guys.
Yeah, very interesting.
I want to do this in reverse and just talk through your entire careers, because
we've been doing it. We talk about ourselves so much.
I know.
It's sort of sickening.
It's fun. It's fun.
And just because as a bookmark, we kind of did get to, but you did host SNL on May 11th, 2013, and in which during the monologue you were in a spandex unitard and you twirled a baton. So that's never been done before.
I'm very proud of that. I don't think that, that was a wonderful, wonderful night. And really like I just remember feeling that was the realization of that dream that I'd always had.
Oh, that's right.
To be on SNL, even as my dream was to be a cast member, but then of course to host was like,
the second best dream is to be big enough to be a host of SNL, right. Where the cast is kind of like, "Hi, Mr. Helms.
They work for you." Yeah.
I have an idea where you and I are postmen. And anyway, but what a story. What an incredible journey you've had. My God. It's amazing.
I'm just getting started.
Yeah, you're just getting
Hey, believe me, where I'm up on the ladder, you are just getting started. You know, don't overage yourself. You know, people go, well, I'm this age. It's kind of, no, don't do that. You have to just not go gently into that good night. You just keep going.
Keep going till they stop you.
Keep going till you get enough.
Yeah.
It's really, I'm really, really glad to be here with you guys. This means a lot.
All right. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
Good to see you. Good luck with the podcast.